like that. It's all just
Man, I wish I was in therapy when I look at that. I'm like, oh, this is what a therapist office should look like. Okay. Quick little side note. I've been working my way through the 2024 book. Just want to give you a heads up about where I am with that. I'm about halfway through all the classes. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with anybody swapping over. I want to complete the read before we make any decisions about swapping or wanting to swap, just to make sure I'm handling it all mechanically correct. It's probably going to be like an all or nothing thing because the balance is significantly different. So like we would want to have like a 2014 Ranger and a 2024 Barbarian. It's just the balance would be nuts. But I'm still reading it. I'm not hard set on any of this. The rule sets are basically the same except for like a minor couple of things here and there. So like I don't even know if the rule set changed. I might just stick with the 2014 because it's easier. And plus the new rules are suck changes. Like surprise round, it's just disadvantage on initiative rolls. You don't get a free round. What the hell? That's stupid. That's dumb. Anyway,
Surprise is what, a condition now?
yeah, it's a condition. It just means you get disadvantage on your initiative roll for the first round. That's it. Sorry, assassin rogue, you just got completely swindled out of all of your good stuff. Um, but so anyway, conversation pending. Just want to let you guys know I'm about halfway through the book. Still working on it. Probably, I'm gonna probably say yes and make it your guys' decision thing. So, just wanted to let you know where I'm at. Okay, let's get to the D&D. My oh my, everybody, you have found yourself in quite an interesting place. Um, okay. Uh, you've achieved much. You have been here and there. You have convinced the metallic dragons to join with Waterdeep. You traveled back to Waterdeep via the power of Terrence. Um, Subosa killed three dudes in an alley because she's losing it a little bit. And as you guys made your way down the road to get to the Misty Forest, you stopped in a village just outside of Daggerford for, a bagel, see the sights, check out the temple. Oh, and also stop the dragon cult from completely destroying it and murdering every single person, and almost succeeded. You found out that this was an ambush laid for all of you, um, where a great number of cultists, fiends, a very, very large dragon almost got the better of a number of you. But in fact, did get the better of one of you, but by the power of, once more, Terrence Marigold Jr., who is just the
the
guy,
best.
the guy, um, brought Ciela back to life. And you guys all managed to save the day and defeat the ambush. But my, oh my, are these ambushes getting harder and harder to defeat? Who knows what they'll throw at you next time? Um, uh, you made your way into Daggerford. You stayed there for a very short period of time, traveled to the Misty Forest off road, and came to Ultand. Here in Ultand, you see, specifically, not Thalia, but Erebir, saw that a great amount of the population had diminished. You all noted the tactical disadvantage that the elves are at with their treetop homes. Indeed, it helps them be spared from the dangers of the forest floor and raiders, but not from dragonkind. If anything, it makes them more vulnerable to dragonkind. A great deal of them were lost, and you have met up with Prince Elegarthus, the older brother of Erebir, and is here to help. And has been helping the Lone Winterhound in the Emerald Enclave. And that is where we start the session today. So, you have just finished with the somewhat long initial greeting with your older brother there, Erebir. And he will say, so, sort of looking at the group broadly, I suppose it'd be best to turn to recent matters. How informed are you about the situation here? What has Delon told you? Nothing. Nothing at all. Okay.
He's told us that there's been raids on the elven communities, and But I mean, any information you have to share, we'd love to hear it.
We we understand that there are raids everywhere, uh, since the dragon cult has taken some significant losses, partly in part to our doing.
See? Well, it may be good to speak to the survivors themselves and to conduct your own investigation. I've done a little bit of my own as well, um, but to be thorough. But I will tell you what I have learned. Most of the survivors fled and saw little of what ensued. It makes it difficult to fully account for the situation. But of the 300 residents of the village, more than half survived the raid. It is a different outcome than other raided settlements, however, where the dragons hunted and killed the elves to the last adult and child, every man, woman, and child slain whenever they attacked. That is why I recommended Delon send someone here to investigate because they didn't, they were not so very thorough in this one. More than half survived. It was very outside of what they've ever done.
How
Many of the residents, oh, please, yes.
how frequent are these raids?
They were a lot more aggressive, but Altan was the last one attacked for some time now, about I think going on 2 weeks now, or sorry, going on a 10-day now.
Okay.
Many of the residents of Altan were on the ground when the attack came, but of the elves on the upper levels of the village, many died to the poisonous breath of a green dragon that descended upon them. They either were killed by the dragon breath or fell to their deaths from the bridges and walkways that collapsed in the panic. You may wish to speak to the warden, uh, Galin, who is responsible for the defense of the village. There's much I'm sure he has to share, and I get the sense that um, there's something he hasn't let on to everyone else in the village. Nothing that I'm sure he means to reveal to me. Perhaps you might succeed where I have failed.
Okay.
But I would be measured in my approach to him. His wife perished in the attack. He is grieving.
We we understand.
I could show you around if you would like. It's not a complex village, but there are different places to be. As I said, there is the warden Galen, who would be worthy of speaking to. Any number of the survivors may know more if you can pick out the ones who maybe have a little more information than others. And I, of course, would be here to help in any capacity that you would see fit. Though I warn, I wish to stay in Althand and keep an eye on things. If there are further investigations to be made in the forest, um, I must insist that my presence remain here for the security of the elves themselves.
Okay.
Has there been any sightings of Black Dragon, young Black Dragon lately?
Yes, I think I heard something about a black dragon wandering around the north of the Misty Forest. I have sent hunters to slay it.
Oh shit. Sorry.
You tilted.
She's one of our party members. She was waiting for us.
You have a black dragon as one of your party members.
Yes.
He looks at you pointedly out there.
Um,
Tell me
yeah.
it is not so, sister.
I advised against it, but Ciela is a very talented ranger and has been able to corral the creature as well as could be expected.
Make a persuasion check.
That's a natural 20 for 28.
Roll 20 for 28. I'll do it. We'll say as well as could be expected. I think he will sort of shake his head and, well, if you have the confidence of along, and you are here, then very well. I will send missives to call off the hunt. Yeah, he'll turn his head to one of the soldiers behind him and give a nod, and that soldier will kind of do a little like almost like a posturing salute, and then we'll walk and descend one down one of the pulleys. I'm afraid I do not have terribly more to share. Again, it's been difficult to gain much more information.
Then I suppose we better get to work.
As I'd said, if you need anything, simply ask.
Of course. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to go tend to the survivors and the defenses, but I will be around here in the treetops. So, Anethral, and he'll take his leave. What would the party like to do?
I suppose we ought to visit one of these villages, speak to the survivors, see what they have to say.
Well, the survivors of this village, because all the other villages are.
Yeah.
Maybe we could also aid in with the survivors and talk to them while we're offering aid.
Okay. That works with me. How about the rest of you?
I'm going to kind of just wander around and see if I can gather any information from people.
When we finish our investigation, I'd like to go corral Largoth. Maybe she's seen something outside of the forest that could be useful for us to know.
All right. Man, okay. So who's going where? I've got Star on checking in with the survivors duty. I will also put out there as you travel around. This isn't like there isn't like people who too many people anyway who are actively suffering. This happened. The attack happened like some 10 days ago, a couple days ago. So like the most immediate urgent things have been dealt with. That isn't to say that there aren't still villagers in peril, sort of like long-standing like physical damage and so on and so forth. But the place has like recovered from the like immediate disaster to some extent, though they are still dealing with some sort of longer term fallout. Absolutely. So if some of you wanted to go try and find survivors in need and try and help them out, you absolutely could. Star's gone investigating. Who wanted to go? Who said they wanted to? I think it was you, Aravir, and you, Terrence, who said you wanted to go find survivors in need and go help them.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Fantastic. Okay, what is Shroud and Ciela doing?
Ooh, what are we doing?
Ciella's gonna stay tactically prepared, just in case they're struck by an attack. Maybe get to know the soldiers a little bit.
Okay. Sure. So I'm just gonna hit you first. As you will wander around and talk to the soldiers, many of them speak in a sort of labored common, as they usually speak primarily Elvish.
So Ciela speaks Elvish.
Oh, perfect. So they will speak fluent, and yeah, everyone here speaks like first language is Elvish here.
Mhm.
And I imagine the conversation, if that's the case, Aligarthus would have been understands you're all from the human kingdoms and would have spoke common. But the rest of this is all Elvish. And for you, you learn that there are basically two types of warriors here. There are the local rangers, who are not unskilled by any measure.
Mhm.
They're capable hunters and warriors who are here. There's not many left, and they would explain sort of, many of the defenders died in the assault, but some yet still live, including the ones we're speaking to. And then there are the reinforced, there's like basically members of the Elven army, Eldritch Knights who have been dispatched by Melandrock himself to secure the borders of the Misty Forest. So there's the actual Eldritch Knights, and then there's the Rangers.
Okay.
Those are the two warrior types around here. More Eldritch Knights than Rangers. And we'll peel back to you. I just wanted to give you
Yeah, no
that
worries.
kind of information. So, let's start with, let's see. Everybody might learn something. Make me, Ciela, you're trying to learn something from the survivors. Make me, let's call it either investigation or persuasion to persuade someone to tell you something or to find the right person who wants to talk.
That would be persuasion because it's slightly better than my investigation. And I rolled an 18, and that's a +0, so 18 flat.
18 will do the job. One of the rangers speaks to you and says, the attack was horrific. The dragon swooped down from the air through the canopy and attacked on the ground first. Nearly half of the villagers' victims died during that first assault. They then assaulted the upper trees. Far fewer died, though still a great sum. But indeed, the initial attack happened upon the grounds, and about a third of all of us fell in one strike.
What kind of dragon was it?
Green
Green for this one as
breathed
well?
poison upon us. Yes, it was only one dragon, and it was massive.
Okay.
Okay. Moving along, stars, you're just kind of wandering around trying to learn some information as well. Why don't you make me the same choice of checks, persuasion or investigation, your choice.
Persuasion or investigation. I think my investigation is probably. Oh, actually, no. Persuasion is actually higher than my investigation. All right, let's go with that. Let's see here. I need a dice. I forgot to pull out my dice. Oh wow, that's sad. 6 plus 13 is a dirty. Oh no, it's not even a dirty. It's a 19. 19.
Yeah, 19 will do the job. You're good. Let's see. I'm just let's see which tidbit of information I get.
I do not speak Elven.
That's okay. You'll find one individual who will speak a bit of a broken common to you. They say, with the priest in your tongue, with the priest dead, the village warden, Gelin, has become the leader of Altan. He was in the thick of the fight, but he survived unscathed and has been a potent force of togetherness, grouping, unity, rallying for those of us who lived through the fight.
All right. So the
Yep,
priest
so it tells you.
survived, and
yes, not a scar or a scratch. He survived. A great warrior he must be. That's what you learn. Eravir, Terrence, you guys find your way. You're probably brought, in fact, to what looked to probably be like the community hall for the village, which would be like the town hall in Elven terms, where like the elves would meet and have like a city hangout or whatever, festivals and council meetings and such, where there are a couple dozen elves who are laying on comfortable, sort of leafy beds on the ground in rows. And all of them look, some of them have grievous wounds from like weapons, like slashing damage mostly, which you know is the MO of the cults, is their scimitars. And, but a great many more are just look to have like thick protruding veins and bloodshot eyes and are suffering from blood poisoning.
Okay. Before we go in, can I put enhance ability on Terrence and I at third level? Or
Yeah,
equals
sure. Yeah, absolutely. For what skill?
equals splendor, charisma.
Equal splendor, charisma. Understood. Okay.
Thank you.
So what would you guys like to do? Yeah. There are some elves in here also tending to them, to be clear. There are some like doctors who are performing physical medicine, so to speak.
Okay. I think I might want to speak to one of the doctors.
Okay. You go up to this one elvish woman. Do you speak Elven?
No, but I do have tongues. I can cast
Alright,
tongues
so-
on myself.
Okay. You cast tongues on yourself. You go up to this woman who's tending to these really wounded individuals. And she'll say, "Be welcome in this place. I am. Uh, I'm glad that you're here. They say that you have been sent by the Emerald Enclave.
Yes, among many.
Welcome. Welcome. You are a cleric. We are in great need of a priest. Ours died in the last battle, and nobody here has great medical experience. We've just been doing the best we can."
Uh, of course, I'd love to be of assistance. Is there anybody that needs immediate medical help?
I, yes, yes, please. And she'll show you where there's many who are like pale and sickly and clammy and might or might not survive the night.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, I'll see what I can do. And I think I'll how many people are there?
A little more than 2 dozen.
2 dozen. Okay.
You do see that, like maybe you kind of peek through one of the open ways where you see a number of like feet in a row with blankets over top of them. You get the sense they're coming to the end of individuals who either are going to live past their wounds or not.
Okay. I think I might try and help the most grievously poisoned.
Okay.
And I'll start. I'm gonna start casting protection from poison.
Okay. How many castings would you like to do?
Let's do. Let's do 3 for now. I'll burn my 3 second level spell slots.
Okay. You go to those you think are in the most dire need, and you do so. And those three individuals, their protruding veins and such sort of subside, and their skin returns to a much fuller color. And though they're still weak from exhaustion due to the poison, they're able to stand again and are escorted by one of the sort of, shall we call, nurses to like get some water and some food inside them, and thank you most ardently for your protections and power. Um, um, uh, no, no persuasion check required. You are here. You are very much proven you're here to help. Um, uh, let's see. Do you wish to question any of these people that you've healed? Any of these three people?
Yeah, sure. I'll I guess I'll start with like small talk. I'll ask if they're feeling better.
Yeah.
If
Um, Much better. You're a remarkable healer. But thank you.
Yes, is there anything you can tell me about this attack? Where they came from?
Um, I I didn't see much of so much chaos and running, but what I do know is that the attack lasted only for a very short while, and then the dragons just retreated out of nowhere. Right in the middle of their raid, they were attacking and they had the upper hand, and we were cornered, and about halfway through, they just simply left. They just turned around and departed. Uh, the dragon just left unexpectedly, and the cultists followed. But as they fled, they took nothing of value from the village.
Uh, did
They
you?
just, the dragon just decided to stop fighting. The cultists followed.
I know it was a chaotic scene, so details might be hazy, but you wouldn't have happened to have heard some sort of horn or instrument of some kind.
The, the loudest thing on the field was the dragon itself. I don't know if we've ever encountered a dragon before, but their roar is tremendous and shakes you to the bone. As it attacked, it breathed its poison gas upon us and roared almost like it was enjoying it, and I expect it did. Um, it battled on the ground and killed nearly half of us in the first wave, and during the course of that battle, it just flew away. It would have been nearly impossible to not have noticed its great size and might and roar. And when it did, the cultists noticed and fled as well.
Did you happen to catch the direction this dragon flew away?
Um, it, it, thanks. It might have been north, or was that? Oh, I'm so sorry. It might have taken a pass above the village. I could be wrong. I don't know for sure.
No apologies are necessary. I I got everything that I need. You get some rest.
Thank you. Truly. Thank you. And while you're questioning your people and have gained some information, how about you, Arabia? You have come into this space as well. What would you like to do?
Well, I can't. I'm not a powerful cleric like Terrence is, but I'll help out by like I don't know, spoon feeding the ones that are like too weak to get up, and like cleaning chamber pots, and like I don't know, just the grunt work that has to be done. Um, if I can make use
Yeah,
of the healer's kit, I will. But yeah, that's what I'll do.
yeah. You do your best, and as you like spoon feed them some soup, and you would gather that that's largely what they need. I don't know what the other function is, but elves are far too graceful and pretty to use chamber pots. There's surely some other miraculous way that they deal with that isn't so untidy. But yes, you feed them soup, absolutely. And many of them will sort of look at you like with a stark recognition, and be thankful for your help, but kind of be limp and largely untalkable. And again, I will not require a check from you because you are Princess Aravir of the Misty Forest, and one of these people will recognize you. Um, you feed this old man some soup, and he'll go, I, I must be seeing things. You seem to me the princess of King Melandrin. It mustn't be true.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm here to help where I can. I heard my people were suffering and came as soon as I could.
Indeed, you grace of Cornwall. By gods. Thank you. Thank you. You feed him some soup, and he'll sort of small talk with you, almost in the way that like one might in try to compensate for their nervousness. This man does not have a lot of health, excuse me, does not have he's maybe on borrowed time, and he maybe knows it, and he sort of speaks to you, trying to fill himself with distraction, perhaps, and speaks. He goes, I met your father only once, and saw you within the palace. It was a couple decades ago, but I remember your face. It's remarkable to see." And he just kind of utters and speaks. Would you wish to question him, perhaps? He seems to be the only coherent one of the bunch.
Um, no, actually, I think I'd rather just comfort him as much as I can, instead of trying to like, I don't know, if he's like on his deathbed, I don't want to bring up the bad memories of what put him there. So
Okay.
yeah.
You feed him, and maybe eventually you put him to rest. Not the rest, but to sleep. So that he might
The
continue
long
to recover
rest.
strength. The long rest.
The eternal rest.
Can I tell what's ailing him? Is it the poison or is it like a injury?
This guy is the unfortunate recipient of both. You sort of peel back a bandage, and you see one of his wounds, like he has a slashing wound on his ribs that's infected, and or looks infected, even to the naked eye. And he's pale and clammy, and there's sort of like veins kind of going up his throat, and he's gaunt. He's remarkably strong to have survived so long. Perhaps he was a warrior,
Mhm.
or is a warrior, I should say.
Um, yeah, there's just too many to save.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll work on the poison, but she'll still give what she has and feed him a healing potion.
You feed him a heating potion. You feed him a healing potion, and that as you feed him the healing potion, he drinks it. You see that some relief washes over him, and as you pull back the bandage, you do see that slashing wound is completely gone. Not even a scar is left. And you have helped him. You know you have. And he'll sort of, I'm gonna thank you, thank you.
I wish I could do more. You are very brave to defend your village, and I'm proud of you.
Any creature of the wilds has the courage to defend their own home, defend their family. Thank you. And as he grows weary, he just kind of like his energy begins to leave his eyes, having a hard time staying open. And maybe one of the nurses comes over and not at all sort of getting in your way or telling or trying to but very gently comes over and says, "Rest now, rest, sleep. You'll need your strength to make it past the poison." And that nurse will smile at you and give you a little nod as to say thank you. And he'll fall into a slumber. But hopefully, nothing long rest can't fix, right? Maybe. But you've done good. You've done good by this man. And you may take inspiration for making a roleplay decision that wasn't necessarily mechanically benefit. Incredible. Was there anyone you wanted to question, Araby?
No, I mean, if they're not coherent, then yeah.
The nurses are, if you wanted to talk to one of the nurses.
Do I know yet that the dragon left unexpectedly? Did I hear that with
No.
No,
You guys haven't consolidated what you've learned yet, no.
Okay.
I mean, I'm here. Do you want to?
Yeah, he's here. You look over to Terrence talking with the three people he is healed of poison.
Sure, yeah, I guess I'll connect with Terrence. Sorry, I haven't learned much yet. I think I'm letting my sensibilities get the better of me. This is
No,
hard.
no. It's a lot. I can't save them all. But I am learning what I can. And I'll share the information that was provided to me. So the dragon left unexpectedly. I've heard to some people they think it flew to the north, but they're not sure.
You know, my brother mentioned that Devlin, Gallon, the warden of the village, had some sort of defense, and I wonder if that has something to do with the dragon taking off, and maybe whatever that defense is, we can use it in our fight against these dragons. Maybe that's who we go to next.
Possibly. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Maybe we circle up with the rest of the party and see what they've learned and all go together.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, I do have one question. Do I recognize any of the people here?
Many. You have visited here before, and elves are very long-lived. You probably, like, just many you recognize. Let me ask you, you said you visited once before. In what capacity do you think? Were you just kind of like doing like a royal circuit, kind of waving at the commoners kind of thing? Or what were you doing here? Meeting a friend, perhaps?
What's the village known for?
The village is known to have been created and continues to honor a ranger of the ancient past. That is largely what they're known for. And then there's other things, which is like hunting. This isn't like the elves don't totally function in a import-export capacity. Um, it's very like self-sustaining. And if they need a little help, they might talk to the next village, but it's not a very import-export sort of society the elves lead. So it's just a village. It's not like particularly well known.
I'm proficient in history and I knew about the history of this village, so maybe I came here to study. Maybe that's
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, maybe you came here to study and yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. You came here to study and yeah, and you spent some time here. You were the princess, so there's no shortage of individuals who wanted to talk to you and meet with you and honor you. So you probably, and if you were here for a length of time, you probably recognize like most individuals, and even just as like passing faces. You were here for quite a while once before, and there are many more faces that you do not see.
Okay. Maybe if your magic works like my magic, Terrence, maybe at the end of the night when you know you're about to reset, you can try to save some more. I've got friends in here.
Of course. I'll do what I can. As a matter of fact, if you want to gather the rest of the party, I'll stay here and help. I'll help treat these people.
She'll take your hands in hers and just like genuinely like thank you so much. Like I don't have words for my gratitude.
Thanks is not necessary. In our last battle, I would not be here without you. I am indebted to you.
Well, consider the debt washed then. and she'll give you a little nod of the head, and yeah, go try to find the rest of the party.
Okay. Oh, Shroud, my scary, oh so quiet warbot. What do you do, my friend?
Quiet warbot. I think just given their nature, they would like look to somebody to like give them orders, right? So like if there's help to be done, I think they would like be waiting patiently. So if like somebody was like I know Ciela was like going around and trying to be mindful or strategic with like the soldiers. So like if they were asked to like have like to go with them or to like help with the people that like I know Aravir was helping with, like I think they would just be like uh pointed to where they are most useful.
Got it. I will put force. Maybe a bit of a new thing for Shroud, but that if you're looking for orders, the group did say that they wanted to divide and conquer and learn as much as you could from the villagers. How would Shroud respond to an order that was sort of socially oriented?
Because they're super social, so
Yeah.
charismatic.
That's why I'm interested to know, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a little difficult for them, only because like they could obviously ascertain information, but like probably in a really awkward way. Like I don't think it would be very with much like a finesse. As demonstrated in picture A.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what we'll say. So Shroud, you're like you're like, okay, everyone's divided, let's learn everything we can. Everyone's like, okay, break. And Shroud, your HUD's up display starts to go a little crazy, so it's to go like it starts like going like mission parameters, investigate village, signs of physical struggle, imminent, obvious, like question villagers, question mark subroutines, list of subroutines, and it like picks one. It's like, and it's like, what is it like? It's like intimidation subroutines, and then crosses it out, and then like goes like persuasion subroutines and crosses it out. And it goes coercion, crosses it out. It goes blackmail, crosses it out. And then there's just like a big like question mark. And then this one Alvin woman comes up to you and goes, "Great warrior!" And then like your thing goes recording, and it goes. She's like falling all over your chest and whatever, and you're just like standing there like completely like
yeah, deadpan.
She's like got her. She's like, "Oh, warrior, and she's like, why did you come from so far? Like, do you speak Elvish?
Do I? I think I do, actually. Hang on, let me pull mine up. What am I proficient in?
Oh, yeah. I'll speak language of the king, baby.
Oh, you know, just be funny is that they just recorded and then they autoplay it later. Something like that.
Yes, I do speak Elvish.
Nice.
Well, she's just going, and it starts, it's like translating. And then like she starts going, we were being attacked, and she's just gonna like.
I feel like Shroud should do that thing like with therapists, like the stereotype of therapists are like, tell me more.
yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It's like, and it's like it's doing like it's like basic it's like therapy subroutines loading, sublet routines with basic questioning 101. It gives you like a list of questions and you're like,
yes,
and
exactly.
How does that make you feel? And she's like, and she starts, and she does actually divulge to you important information. She starts going, there was humans going into the village, and they were dressed in the coat of the dragon, and they followed the dragon. They killed everyone they found. It was so terrible. Oh, and the priest, oh God, Coralon bless the priest, stepped out to lead others in the fight, and the dragon swooped down and swallowed him whole in one bite right there before the battle even began. And she's just losing it, and you're going, how did that make you feel?
Yep.
They made me feel terrible. And it's like, please go on. And he goes,
Tell me more.
tell me more. And
Elaborate.
she's like, elaborate. And he goes, what do you mean they died? And just basically starts like trauma dumping on you and like unloading.
Yeah.
And it's just like has a little meltdown. I'm just, thank you. And like after like 10 minutes, she's like, thank you. Great warrior, you're more clearly more than just a warrior. You're a wonderful listener. I'll never forget you. What is your name, warrior?
They call me Shroud. And I do feel like Shroud would do that, like that gentle pat, like, they're there.
There,
It's
there,
like on
there,
her head. She
there.
goes, oh, and just like holds you and like hugs you. And it's just like sobbing and goes, I'll never forget you, Shroud. I've never met anyone quite like you. I haven't. At this point, Aravir, you like come around the bridge and see Shroud just deadpan and like warrior stance, just like doing one of those to this woman who's just like absolutely losing it and is like clinging to Shroud for like reassurance and is just like desperately hanging off of Shroud and is like losing it, and Shroud just seems Shroud. What do you do, Aravir? Like, what do you do, if anything?
I guess I just go get Shroud and tell her that it's that we're rounding up the party. I don't know. I don't really do anything about the lady though.
Yeah. Okay. The Shroud, Aravir comes up and says, like, we're rounding up the party, basically.
Mm-hmm. And I would like go with her and be so long.
She goes, wait, hang on. Have a moment. She goes, I'll never forget how you helped me. Here. And she'll take off like a ring and she'll give it to you. And she'll say, oh God. She'll say, my name is Joanna Favon. I'll never forget you. Take this as a token to remember me by. I hope we see each other again one day.
Thank you. And they'll like put it in their bag. Yeah, he just like throws it into their bag of holding.
Just and she's like, warriors from the human kingdom are just so sensitive. And you two will will walk away. Such good listeners. Yeah, you two will go walk away to round up the party, and sure enough, Star and Ciela will be rounded up by Aravir and Shroud. The four of you round up. Sabrosa's off a little. You don't really know where Sabrosa went off to. Probably questioning. But your party will come together if you wanted to do it just outside the village hall, so as not to disturb the patients. And the five of you can congregate somewhere where Terrence can meet up without too much hassle. Is there one of you I haven't given anything to? Is there one of you I haven't given any information to? No? I give Silas something, I did Shroud sometimes. Oh yeah, Aravir, you never learned anything, right? Cool. Okay, you will congregate.
All right, Ciel will disclose what the soldiers told her. And yeah, just sullen tone, very, very hushed. And judging by what they said, it's did they mention that the attack just ended? Like, boom.
I will review because as I assume all of you share what you've learned, I will just simply go through the points one more time. The dragon swooped down and attacked on the ground first. Nearly half of all the villagers' victims died during that first attack. Humans in the regalia of the cult of the dragon followed the dragon into battle, killing all those they found. The village priest stepped in to lead, but was imminently swallowed by the dragon whole. With the priest dead, the village warden, Galin, had become the leader of Altan. And though he was in the thickest part of the fighting, he survived unscathed. and has been basically a potent force of leadership ever since. Um, and the attack lasted only a very short while when the dragon unexpectedly retreated and the cultists followed. But as they fled, they took nothing of value from the village, which all of you can very easily figure from your many encounters with the cult of the dragon that is a stark contrast to the dragon's other raids, in which they have been focused on the capture of treasure and the slaughter of every man, woman, and child, which is not what happened here, not by far.
Strange how it just ended. Like, why would they stop and go? Maybe it had something to do with attacking, I don't know, like the ambush for us? I don't know.
Well, there's even the part about the priest. I've heard rumors about the priest that survived. There's no scars. How did he survive?
Oh, the warden? Yeah. Not a scratch.
Yeah, like was he hiding or something? Or
He's either incredibly skilled or suspect.
yeah.
Or has a secret.
Perhaps.
Or he was hiding.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah. Time to approach that guy. Or sneak in his chambers. What you guys want?
Let's not. Let's
Let's not invade the privacy of people we're supposed to be allied with.
just yet.
Yeah.
We'll see what he has to say first.
And don't forget
Yeah.
his wife perished in the battle, and so we should be compassionate with our approach.
Yay.
If anything, he certainly must know something.
There's also the possibility that they left early in order to create dissonance among them. You know, leave the one person unscathed, leave the attack early, make us question each other.
Well, I suppose we should find some concrete answers. There's no sense in speculating here. Let's find this warden.
Okay.
Okay. You would be directed to. This is sort of like, oh my god,
Ooh.
yeah. Sorry, the computer is a little unhappy right now for whatever reason. But oh my god, sorry, we're having a little. You're struggling a little today. You basically find your way back to where you first met up with Big Bro, whatever his name is. And
Algarthus.
you guys, yes, thank you. So many NPCs. And you're directed to the upper portion of that structure. And as you come up there, you are going to see. You're going to step into a modest dwelling, suspended among the iron-strong boughs of the trees. And you enter into a little cozy sitting room. There are not a lot of doors around here. It's a very open thing. People respect each other's privacy, and don't feel much need for doors. But you enter, and you see a slim elf seated at a desk. He stands to greet you with a forced smile, and a raven perched on a nearby branch in the actual hovel that sort of paws hideously. The warden Galin looks at you all and smiles and says, Andarana Tishan, welcome to our village. What can I do to be of service?
First off, we're very sorry for your loss.
Many condolences.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. But yes, what is it that I can do for you?
We're trying to understand more about this attack and primarily the unusual circumstances of their retreat. We're hoping you might have some information that might help us.
I'll answer whatever questions I can. Uh, by all means.
Can I subtle cast skill empowerment on Terrence for persuasion?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Is that copper? Is that yeah, okay, yeah, go right ahead. Suddenly, Terrence, like you don't know, but out of nowhere, you're just like you know how to talk. You get what you know.
You must be an incredible warrior to make it out of this battle unscathed. How did you accomplish that?
I did not actually entirely get out unscathed. I think the people of the village are far too generous. I have my share of wounds and scars. I survived, I think, simply because I needed to. In the course of the battle, our priest perished rather quickly, and it fell upon me to lead the front line. So that's what I did. I did what I could.
Can I insight check that?
Certainly.
15.
15. He seems to be truthful and honest. He certainly seems like labored in speech. He isn't like blowing you off by any measure, not even by the slightest measure. He is more than happy to communicate with you, but you do see that like the labor of grief makes it hard to hold a conversation for him, though he pushes through it.
Okay. About how long after the priest had perished and the assault continued did it take before they actually began their hasty retreat?
It is difficult to say. It was not long, but a few minutes. As I'm sure you are no doubt aware, the stories of battles make it sound like it's a lengthy affair, but it is not. Everything happens so fast. Always happens so fast. The dragon swooped to the village below, and in a short minute or two, there was nearly 100 dead already. And then the cultists came, and by that time, myself and the priest had made it to the first floor. The priest was imminently struck down and swallowed, if I recall correctly. And it fell to me to get into the fight, and what were, I'm sure, seconds felt like hours. The dragon departed with his forces. I know not why.
Did you happen to see the direction they went?
No, I'm afraid I did not. The dragon did indeed depart. I should have, though, shouldn't I have followed which way it was going? I think when the dragon departed, I was left. My eyes turned to the remaining cultists on the floor. The dragon no longer a threat of one that could be dealt with swords anyway. So I turned my attention to the cultists themselves, and then they departed as well. And then I had realized that the dragon was gone, and that the battle was won, I suppose.
Oh, how big was this dragon? Was it like an adult or an ancient? Do you know about how old you think it was?
I am no expert of the age of dragons, but it
Well, the
was
size then. The size.
yes, it was it was massive. It was
Okay.
how best to describe.
Just trying to.
It was
Say, in
easy.
relation to this tree.
Oh, it's not nearly the size of the tree, but perhaps just a little bit smaller than the actual structure that we stand in ourselves. It was larger than any grizzly bear by 2 or 3 more. It was massive.
Let's assume that we're dealing with an ancient one. Just, it's better that we overestimate than under.
Do we have people watching the skies? If they retreated, we can only assume that they will be back.
I certainly hope not. What rangers we have left are they have their arrows on the skies. We have not yet let our guard down, and King Melandrock's warriors themselves have assured us that the borders of the Misty Forests are closely guarded. They came to reinforce us after the attack, and the attacks have ceased since.
That's what worries me.
That didn't take anything either.
I'm concerned that they're planning something big.
Perhaps. I don't know what.
And just because she doesn't know out of character information, Ciela asks, what tactical importance is this city, town, village
Tactical, like
to us? Is there a
to
tactical?
you. I couldn't imagine much. We are a simple village of now, not as much as before. We are a little more than 250 since last we did a head count. Our numbers have dwindled, but even before the attack, we were only 300 elves. And though we have our rangers for hunting and protection, we're not a great military.
Okay,
No great military force of any kind.
interesting. Does it make sense?
You said the priest was swallowed whole.
Yes, the dragon descended upon the battlefield, and as the priest prepared to lead warriors into battle, I witnessed it myself. The dragon flew down and landed, and wrapped its mighty maw around him in one bite, and he was gone.
Ciela will look at
Pretty cool.
Aravir for a moment. You don't suppose they were trying to capture the priest?
That's where my thoughts were headed. I don't know how long you could live in a dragon's maw, but if they left shortly after, I wonder what significance this priest might have.
You believe
must
the
be close
priest was in the dragon's maw?
Could have been, if
It's a
it's
possibility.
large enough.
Seems unlikely considering all the poison that was spilling upon the field, but you would certainly know better than I. I'm told that you are all supposed to be legendary dragon slayers or some such.
What do you know of the priest?
That's a little more. But the priest was our leader, was the ruler of our village, and was a priest to Cora.
What was the name again?
Their name was Elethona.
And were they particularly known for anything?
She was a capable cleric. She was a very skilled one. She was both our healer and our spiritual leader and our, I suppose, political leader as well. She ruled the village and guided it in many ways. And now she's gone, and all I can do is lead us in the most simplest sense. I am no spiritualist or great user of healing magics of any kind.
You don't need to be a spiritual person to be a good leader. I think I'll do just fine.
No, I agree completely, but it is still difficult shoes to fill.
Of course.
She was, as I said, a leader in many senses, whereas I can only be a leader.
There's a raven like squawking in the corner. You said.
Yeah, every now and then it lets out like a and it's just kind of hanging out.
Do you mind if I have a word? And I'll gesture to the raven.
Oh, to the raven.
This is your raven, I assume.
Yes. This is well, yes.
Do they have a name? Come on, name this bird for me.
His name is Cracker, and Cracker shines busy.
His name is Lee.
Lee. Okay. Just a moment, and I will cast. We're supposed to speak with animals. Hello, Lee.
Hi. Who are you?
I am Terrence, cleric of Champia.
Hi.
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 Did you see the big scaly bird?
No. What? No.
No?
No.
Were you here during the attack?
What attack? I will remind you that Speak with Animals does say that the creature in question will only remember to about a day's worth of knowledge.
Oh, really?
I believe so. Minimum intelligence to give you information about nearby. Information that they have perceived within the past day. They're not very smart. They have a short memory span.
Okay, that's fair. What can you tell me about your master?
Galen, good! Galen, nice! BB seeds! Like Galen! Galen likes to walk! Walk in the woods! Walk in the woods!
Walk in the woods?
Walk in the woods!
Where in the woods?
Towards the green lizard! Towards the green lizard in the woods!
The green lizard in the woods?
Yes, the green lizard! Lizard called Tooth! Lizard called Tooth! Last night in the woods, Rider of Truth spoke to Galen.
Very interesting. How often does he go to speak to the lizard in the woods? Frequently?
Last night. All asleep. But Lee was there.
Lee was there. Good to know. Good bird. And I'll pull out, I guess, a ration. I'm sure I have some dried nuts.
Some dried nuts or something. And eats it up and it goes, like Terrence, Terrence good.
Like Lee.
Yay! And it sort of hops around on the branch, happily hops around. Almost does a little raven dance, just kind of hops up and down the branch.
Okay, I'll turn back to our host.
As I presume, Terrence, you were having this conversation out of earshot?
Yeah, I'll be kind of
Yeah,
under
the
my.
bird's it's a trained pet, so like if you put your arm out, he like hops under your arm and you go over to like the corner.
Yeah, I'll be
Or
like,
like or maybe you go to the corner and the elf will like command the bird to like fly over to you. Whatever the beans you have a private conversation with the bird.
yeah, I'll do maybe some walking around. It's sort of open concept, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'll return Lee to the perch, and I'll come up to our host. I'll put a hand on his shoulder. It's like, you have a lovely raven.
Thank you. He'll look over at the raven with like a cocked eyebrow, and the raven just keeps like bouncing around on his thing happily. And he gives like this like chastising look to the raven, like
He likes you a
what
lot.
happened.
Oh, no worries.
He's good. He's good companionship, though a tad loud.
He's loud, and he didn't know much, unfortunately. So, just exhausting all of my options.
Of course, as you should.
Well, does anybody else have any questions?
Nope.
I suppose we'll stick around the village for a little bit longer, try and gather any more details we can.
Is there any other way we can help?
I'm certain that your presence here, in and of itself, is of a great confidence to the villages here. Reputation of your deeds is spread far. And I think having more swords and spells at our disposal will not make anyone feel uncomfortable. So please, by all means, the hospitality of all time is yours. I shall endeavor to find somewhere for you to sleep. And you may take whatever food or water you may require. Corlon knows that we have more than we need now.
Okay.
He'll gesture and sort of say, enough at all, which means sort of like go in peace, basically. And he'll return to his desk, and you guys leave with this forced smile. And maybe those of you just catch him at the last moment. He kind of like turns back because he's kind of like sighs and lets the mask fall off again, and kind of returns to his sort of labored state.
Okay, I'll
And you guys congregate outside. Yeah.
make my exit.
Yep.
So we take a little walk and talk. And
Yeah.
shake around. It's best not we linger.
Mm-mm. So I guess we'll go for a walk. Once I'm confident we're out of earshot,
Yeah. Get out of your shot, no problem.
he's hiding something.
Oh yeah?
I talk to the Raven, and the Raven says he meets some lizard in the woods. Said he went to go meet them last night.
Interesting. Maybe they'll go again tonight.
Good thing we have someone who's super sneaky and can follow them.
Me? Started like playing with his knife, and he's like, "God damn politics."
I'd
No,
like to go
Shroud.
along with Star. If possible, I'd like to go along with Star.
Sure, I don't mind the company. Just gotta be soft on your feet.
Well, I got ways of being stealthy.
All right.
Okay. You guys have been at it for a little while now. You're in reality, you guys didn't each walk up to a single individual and immediately learn everything you needed to know. This happened over the course of a couple of hours of tending to the sick and so on, rousing and carousing with individuals. Except for Shroud. Shroud was immediately confronted by the screaming woman and gave everything that could be known. Of course. So we will say that it grows late. The hour grows late. Um, and indeed, some elves are show you to a place where you all might find some sleep. It's a sort of it's actually one of the homes. It's like a fully stocked, furnished home. Um, a group of a family used to live here. It's clearly very personalized to a family's wants. This is no hotel. This isn't an inn. This was someone's home. You expect that family no longer has use of it.
Ciela's gonna rest until it's time to go.
Hmm.
She's gonna say, just wake me when the city starts, or the village starts going to sleep.
Like a plan, nap for a bit, wake up when it's dark.
Yeah, if I assume we have the time for a short rest, I'll
Certainly.
use 2 instances of harness divine power to get a couple spell slots back.
Okay. Fantastic.
I would like to unattune from the bracers of defense and attune to the ring of poison resistance.
For sure. As a reminder, the braces of defense don't work unless you aren't wearing any armor whatsoever. So
I don't wear armor.
okay. I just know that blade singers can wear light, so I just wanted to remind you. But yeah, cool. You do so. And Aravir, you could just because you stayed here for a while, however long that may be, it was a couple days at least. You could tell everybody that the elves don't really go to sleep until like 12 to 2 in the morning, because they only require a trance, and the moon and the stars, as you well know, Aravir, are very important to them spiritually and religiously. So they don't, so they enjoy the nights and take in the stars and the moon. So yeah, you guys probably you probably have a little nap and sleep. You're certainly not going to achieve a long rest before
I don't
you're
need one.
aroused,
Okay.
nor are you, Star. You guys maybe sleep for a while. It's a bit revitalizing, but you wake up after we'll say 4 or 5 hours by the party as the rest of the village begins to fall asleep. And it's that terrible wake up where when you go to nap and it's really a flip of the coin if it's like your brain just got punched or you actually feel restful. It's like that. You both wake up from the middle of a REM cycle basically, and you're like, and it's like the most brutal wake up. And unfortunately, your long rest will fail because of it. But you are aroused at the time when the rest of the village will be going to sleep.
All right. Ciela's gonna put her goggles of night on and put the hood up of the cloak of elvenkind for invisibility.
Yep.
Just gonna whisper to Star, I'm here with you.
Okay.
You lead the way.
All right, sounds good.
And if we lose each other, I'll be able to find my way back, will you?
Oh yeah. I can see in the dark. Remember? Fine.
Okay.
So Star, you are the commander-in-chief of this little operation. What is your plan?
Well, first we're gonna see if he's still in his house and just kind of spy from afar and see if he still has a light in his window.
Okay. Make a
And
perception check to sort of look across the boughs of the trees and see what you see.
all right.
Can I do so as well?
Sure. These will be done at disadvantage because
Oh,
though
you
you
sure?
guys have dark vision, this is a little further.
I mean, you could probably
You're looking
primal
for
awareness.
light. Yeah, you're also looking for light, and light isn't. So you're good. Straight perception, you're fine. My apologies.
I gotta remember what's my reliability. Is the black dot okay, or does it have to be double dots?
Black dots or double black dots.
I got a 28.
Nice. What'd you get, Star?
Thank God for reliability. 10 plus 6 is 16.
Nice. You both look over there, and you spy no No lights, no fire lights or candle lights of any kind.
All right. Then
It's
it
dark
comes.
over there.
Let's go down
Then
to the ground.
yeah, it's time to go to the ground and see if we can find his tracks.
Okay.
All right. So
Are we doing this stealthily, by the way, or are you guys just kind of wandering about?
Oh no,
oh,
still.
that might be a good idea. Go in stealth, please.
Okay.
You're
Go
just
ahead and
going
roll
around.
this.
We all could have went.
Yeah, might as well. Might as well have all gone. Go ahead and roll me stealth checks, you two.
Okay. Is this a disadvantage or not?
No, this is straight. You're good. Unless you have disadvantage for some reason.
No,
24.
31.
Oh, shit. That's pretty high. Yeah, you guys are both very stealthy. You make your way to the ground. As I said, the ground level and the upper levels are populated by various elves. The ground level, indeed, by civilian elves, but majorly by the Eldritch Knights. But most have gone to sleep, and with your stealth checks, you easily evade detection. Um, it is very misty down here. It is very difficult to see much of anything. Um, if you want to look for tracks, I'm going to need a disadvantage survival check because it's hard to see the ground, especially because it's the middle of the night. But you have dark vision, so helps you out.
Yes, thank God for reliability. Because reliability saves me again. 16.
19.
16, 19. There's tons of tracks. I mean, there's tons of tracks.
Yeah, let's go
around.
look for raven feathers.
Okay, as part of that, I will say, yeah, you don't find any raven feathers. You don't find much feathers. Like maybe one or two here or there, but nothing like stark and black as a raven feather.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to say just start wandering around, but probably go a little further outside of like the civilian area to kind of see, because I think Terrence said like they're in a cave, that they go away from the area and go to a cave. So maybe like looking on the outskirts.
Nobody said anything about a cave, just see.
Okay. So just maybe we look outside the outskirts of the army surveillance camp just to kind of look around.
All right. See, what we'll do is kind of a circle around the perimeter.
Okay. Are you guys looking for tracks? Are you looking for like actively looking for people? What are you doing?
I think we're looking for a trace of anything. So we're either investigating to find any traces of, well, footprints that look like they're being rushed, or in anything like smells, or because I don't know if Star will actually smell things that are different.
No, as a
Sadly,
tabaxi,
he's
you
not a
maybe have
dog.
cat, but your nose is not quite what a cat is.
No. But looking for something that isn't normal, I would say. Like, no one would go this direction kind of thing.
Okay. I don't think I really need to make you guys have a check for that. You see some places like you do find like paths in and out of the forest, whether they're hunting paths or not. You find places where there's more thicker foliage, which would be more difficult traveled and thus probably not traveled. And don't look traveled for that matter. Because keep in mind, you guys are in a big, lush forest. It's not hard to see, especially right in the outskirts of a village in the middle of a forest. It's not hard to see which ways are traveled and which ways are not.
And there's nothing showing any differences between there.
As I said, there are hunting paths that lead out of the village. There are more solid paths that lead deeper into the forest.
Star will look at Ciela going like, okay, this is when Star is just going to be like, we should have went left earlier and kind of watched him land. So it'd be easier.
Let's wait, because maybe we can catch him on the way back and trace his tracks backwards from where he came from.
All right, so let's stay in a bush. Um, yeah.
Are you guys staking out like a particular portion of the camp or the village? Excuse me.
Um, it would be easy.
Staking out the lift.
Yeah. There's more than one lift, but you
Oh.
can find a vantage where you can find us. I think the lifts probably have torches on them.
Mhm.
Uh,
How many
Actually,
lists?
they do not. They don't have the lifts don't have them. But you guys know where they're positioned well enough that you guys can like find a vantage to kind of generally keep an eye out. I'd like both of you to make me perception checks, and this time these are at disadvantage because it is so dark.
Can you not roll low, please? 16.
Sorry, what was the roll
16. Perception to keep a stakeout going.
for? 19.
19. Very good for how difficult it is to see.
Well, I got a
Between the
10 and a
mist
12. Never
and the
plus
pitch
nine.
black, it's impossible to see the lift like once it descends, but you can see it at the top where there are some small torchlights here and there. And Star, you catch it kind of like bump seal and point, and you guys see at the lift closest to where his home is, you do see a figure sort of like open the darkened home of Galin, wearing a cloak of elven kind, which you would recognize immediately as Ciela.
Mhm.
The hood is up, kind of looks around, closes the door, closes it very carefully and softly, and kind of walks over to the left, and you see him like unwind and unrope it, and look down and kind of start pulling it. The wheel doesn't squeak by any means; it's very quiet. The elves know the relevance of the stealth and is integrated into this pulley system. And as it comes up, he turns around, steps on it, and pulls a lever, and it slowly, carefully, quietly descends into the darkness.
All right, time to creep a
You lose
little
track
bit
of him at that
closer.
point. Yeah, you guys want to move closer to where the lift would be. Yeah. Then you guys, carrying over your stealth, quietly make your way through all the people. You see the figure in the dark, and he's going to enter stealth as well.
Oh, bugger.
Luckily, your perception checks beat out his stealth check, even with the advantage of the robe of elven kind, or the cloak of elven kind. And though he very much blends in with the surroundings, it's very difficult to keep an eye on him. You are able to, and you can follow if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm gonna follow his tracks too, just till I can recognize his tracks, and if we lose him, I can still follow him.
Yeah, you see his tracks and you follow his direction, but you don't lose him. He goes very quietly, very softly, and very carefully out of the lower village perimeter, makes his way into the wood. As he gets far away enough from the village, he kind of like looks back in your guys' direction, but you're, of course, hid beautifully in the bushes, and he will sort of look around and kind of walk a little bit more neutrally, not as quite as like carefully and stealthily. He'll walk a little more neutrally through the forest, not any faster, but we'll walk sort of just even paced through the wood. And you guys follow him. You follow him for a mile, maybe more into the wood, quite a while until the lights of Althand are long gone and you have descended into the pitch black darkness. I don't know if you guys have ever been in the forest in the middle of the night, but it is black. It is a blackout. And I will say at a certain point, yeah, the only reason you're able to follow him is through sound and maybe through the tracks themselves, as your hands like actively dipping into the ground and feeling where his foot made an impression. You follow,
So the goggles aren't working?
Well, are you following him at 60 feet? Like, that is pretty close.
Okay, no, never mind.
Yeah. You can, though. You guys rolled really well.
No, don't want to alert him.
Exactly.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Well, your vision is why perhaps you're keeping up, because you're not banging your head into trees, trunks, and stuff. So, but you do hear him just at the edge of your vision, so you're having no trouble following. You're good. You follow. You follow. You do hear no sound of a raven for whatever reason. And eventually, the sound sort of comes to a stop. Um, you guys maybe creep your way to like the edge where you find yourself at not a large clearing, but certainly big enough where there's a hole in the canopy and you can see up into the stars. It's a large enough area. The trees aren't so tightly bound that you can see that it is a flattened brush um, where clearly the foliage has been trampled down by something of great size and heaviness. Um, and Galin sort of goes there. He sort of pulls back his, or no, he keeps his hood up, kind of just stands there. You know it's Galin at this point. You kind of maybe caught his face at one point. And he stands there. At this point, it is like probably close to a 60-foot radius opening in the forest. So you kind of get to the edge of the wood and behind trees and watch him. And he stays there for, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, wandering around back and forth, pacing. It's kind of boring. It's not doing anything. 30 minutes have passed. 40 minutes have passed. 50 minutes have passed. He looks agitated. He looks like he's like breaking sticks and like throwing them ahead of him and bored, waiting around, kicking stones. 50 minutes passed. After an hour, you hear him sort of look up at the sky and kind of about the hour mark, he sort of huffs, and he turns around. And you guys kind of go up against your trees, and he walks like right by you guys. Doesn't notice you. He starts walking back in the direction of the village. You wish to follow or stay here?
We know where it is now.
Yeah, we definitely know where the clearing is now. We've marked it in our mental brains. And we don't want to be here if he's not here. Could be worse.
Let's wait for a few minutes.
Okay. We'll wait.
Maybe like 10 minutes more.
10 minutes? Yeah. You wait for 10 minutes, at which point you're sure that you can track him, but Glynn's long gone. You hear the sounds of birds in the brush in the night, but nothing arrives, nothing miraculous happens. Wait for 10 minutes, nothing happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Come back tomorrow.
Yep. I'll investigate a little bit more better when we have daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ciela, I will require a survival check to return to the village.
Dirty 20.
I was about to say a disadvantage because it is so dark and far.
Oh, okay. Let me do another roll then.
Yeah, sorry, my apologies. I was a little late on that.
Dirty 20. The last one was like a bit higher, so.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you easy enough. You follow the tracks backward. You have marked the different trees and arrangements of the trees.
I'm somehow just following Ciela by just like grabbing onto something to make sure I'm just like, okay, hold.
I imagine start with like a stick doing like to the trees, just like boredly maybe.
Ciela grabs a stick and smacks him with it.
Shut up! It's like, well then grab my tail or something. I don't know, I can't see you.
Oh my god, is Star doing like a full Tigger and like is holding his tail and it's just like
I'll just use it.
But yeah, you guys wander on back through the woods, and sure enough, like this whole excursion has been more than an hour, but you eventually find yourselves returning to the distant lights that make up Oldtime, and you may re-enter the village if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you re-enter the village stealthily?
Yes, just so we don't get caught into why are we here.
Well, we can come and go as we please. We're guests.
Coming
not
and
making
going
a
as you
ruckus.
please at 3 a.m. might indeed be suspicious, however.
Yeah. Look, I've been in these places. I don't want to get caught.
All right. We'll do it quietly.
You trust in the criminal instinct of Star, and both of you go ahead and roll stealth checks.
31 again.
23.
Damn, guys. You guys very quietly make your way to the lift, which is in the up position, unsurprisingly. You have it descend. You hear this one elf behind you go. You guys kind of, and you get on the lift and you travel up to the top of the village, and sly as can be, return to the home that your party is meant to stay in. Mission success.
Sort of.
No, it's a success.
Yeah.
What do you two want to do? You guys want to try and keep sleeping?
Yeah.
Sleep sounds great.
Okay, you guys lay down for a long rest. As the sun rises, Shroud, Terrence, and Aravir, you guys easily achieve a long rest. Your fellow party members continue to sleep. Maybe you like wake them up as one might do anyway, and they kind of no. And you maybe leave them alone. So you guys will probably have like a solid 4 hours before. Let's see. Yeah. So like they go to bed at like 2 in the morning, and then you guys will. Yeah, probably like 4 or 5 hours until Star Ciela. They've totally screwed up their sleep schedule.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
So 4 or 5 hours before these two are getting up. You guys are getting up to like with the dawn. Is there anything that you three would like to do while Ciela and Star take their rest? Or do you want to just kind of meander? Or anything at all?
I mean, I'll probably just keep helping some of the villagers in the town hall.
Okay.
Providing any assistance I can.
3 of the people in the town hall died in the night. You kind of walk in to see one being carried into that back room, another having a blanket folded over their head. The person that Aravir was tending to did not die that night, perhaps because of her. Yeah, you can go back to work. So how would you like to continue to help people?
I will. At the very least, burn another 3 second level spell slots for protection from poison.
All right, you saved quite a few individuals. I'll tell you what, if you want to spend, I'll be a little merciful. If you wanted to say that you spent all of your first levels yesterday,
with like healing words and whatnot.
Yeah, just cure wounds, healing words, and basic standard healing, just to like help those. Yeah. And that would explain why maybe only 3 people didn't lend. I'll say, and then if you spend the rest of your first level slots today with those 3, I'll say that like you'll have taken care of the most critically injured.
Okay. Then that's what I'll do.
Okay. With your protections from poison and your various healing words, perhaps, the most critically sort of like will they live, will they won't individuals make it through. There are others in here who still require aid, but the nurses and you do not believe that they are in dire straits. That it will take time to recover, but they will live. Your aid is most certainly noted, and with great appreciation. You may take inspiration for your generosity and healing hands.
Okay.
Your god would certainly be happy with this. Okay. Aravir, Shroud, was there anything that you wanted to do while you waited for Tweedledee and Tweedledum to wake up?
I would also
Thanks.
What was that, Aravir?
I'd also be if Terrence helping out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just kind of the same thing, just kind of the grunt work, the feeding. Okay. That old elven warrior will be happy to see you again the next day, and he's looking a little bit more flush. Get a sense your healing potion probably saved his life. And he kind of just, you get cornered a little And he just kind of like talks at you a little bit and like, oh yes, that was 100 years ago. The next century before was like quite interesting. I remember I was very good at hunting rabbits. I was in fact reputed amongst the village to be very good. You're like, like a little, you're like, you're happy, of course, to be of service, but like, it's hard to escape that conversation gracefully, and you listen to him talk for a while. Luckily, if there's one thing you learn amongst the elves, it's probably patience. So, but eventually you manage to escape and go aid others.
So, instead of burning all my first level spell slots, can I just burn a third level with Aura Vitality and just sort of hand that out?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, no problem.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people here suffering from like poisoning and the poison condition, which isn't based in like raw healing power that's taken them out. But uh, but yeah, even that will help those who aren't most critically injured and like those who are kind of weakened will be sort of revitalized and be given a little extra vitality to push through what they're going through. So it is all of great aid, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. You guys help out around for 4 hours. Shroud, is there anything you would like to do, or do you just?
I don't think so. I think for now they would continue like let's say business as usual, but yeah, just like following orders and following around and like waiting to be like directed to like where they can best help.
Got it. Um, got it. No, I'm sorry. What was her name? You see a familiar elven woman sort of see you as you're standing out the door and kind of goes, "Oh, Shroud, hello!" And she like comes down and walks up to you. What did I name this woman? Her name was like Joanna, I think, right? Yeah. Joanna comes up to you. She goes, "Thank you so much for your respite, your kind words yesterday. I'll never forget them, and it's just been so hard since I lost my child. And in the war, you see, he was a great warrior, and you stand there for 4 hours while she speaks at you for 4 hours,
Yes, I love that.
and you don't move a muscle or say a word. But by the end, she goes, "No, I really see that you understand me. You you don't you don't listen to respond. You listen because you care. You have such a strong heart. I've never known a person like you. I wonder if perhaps you might ever feel like." And at this point, the door swings open, and Ciela is like, wakes up, and Joanna's like, she's like, "Oh, good morning," and she goes, I must away," and she'll like squeeze your hand, Shroud, and says, "We may have to talk." And we'll
Yellow will watch the hand squeeze and just raise an eyebrow at Shroud.
And she'll, in fairness, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful elven woman with like gorgeous blue eyes and
Sure, I'm
long
sure.
blonde hair. She's gorgeous. If
You
only
like that
maybe-
kind of thing.
Yeah, if you're into that kind of thing and not like robotic, maybe doesn't. Yeah, your sensors are like,
She
your
goes
side
to
quest
see him
meets
afterwards.
with-
So what are you into? Murder.
Rod already had that experience at the brothel once. I feel like we don't need a repeat.
Side quest assigned, meet Joanna after dark. Choose to accept. Y-N.
Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe.
But yeah, your heads up display assigns you the task, and I'll say ever since you've been coming into your sort of barbarian nature, you realize maybe in this moment you're like, I don't have to do any of this. Like, and at one point it felt like second nature, but now maybe like now that you're coming into your rage and your emotions, you're like, I don't have to do this anymore if I don't want to. I'm free. I'm free.
I'm a real boy.
No strings attached to me. But anyway, you have a moment where you're like, am I really gonna do this?
I think
you can
if
decide.
Cielo was looking, I think they would just be like,
Just
like,
the most animated Shroud's ever been.
"Mm."
Who else but Shroud?
Shroud, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're blushing.
There's like blood stains on either side.
Star's like, Ciela, are you sure he's blushing? I can draw blush lines on him. I don't think it's gonna work.
I love it.
I was joking.
Look, I have paint. I can do it.
Oh God, not the paint.
Repaint. Do it.
Star ends up making Shroud look like a mime.
See what happens.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Oh, I want you to use those magic paints so bad.
I forget, what does the magic paint do?
Basically,
things
to make
real.
it very simple, if you draw something on the wall, it'll become real.
Oh my god.
Whatever you paint becomes real. If you paint a sword, you can pull that sword out of the wall and use it. If you draw a door, that wall now has a door in it. If you know.
But where does it lead to on the other side?
To whatever you want. No imagination. No, but yeah, like if there's a wall you're trying to get through, you can paint a door and like walk through the door and go to the other side of the wall, right?
Star draws an enormous diamond for Terrence.
Oh my god,
Oh!
how many diamonds do you need?
I believe there is something about that in there, or there may not be. I don't know.
I was gonna say that seems like a hack.
That seems like a bit of a... I make all the gold in the world. It's all the gold and diamonds in the world.
Listen,
the
we
wall
all
just
know that there's
explodes in a tidal wave.
Scrooge McDuck.
right?
You also have 2 ounces of sovereign glue.
Oh yeah,
That is true. You have all the tools to be an absolute fucking, like, madman.
You could home alone this guy if you wanted to.
You could home alone. Yeah, absolutely.
I have not even used this power yet.
We
But
all know what
alas,
it's
you should.
really meant for. We all really know what it's meant for.
Nothing created by the pigments can have a value greater than 25 gold pieces.
Yeah, just get me a bunch of tiny diamonds then.
There you go. Make a bunch of tiny 25 gold piece diamonds. How you go?
Yeah. Okay.
Shroud, Ciela, Star, do you wish to go find Erebir and Terrence, perhaps?
Sure.
Okay, you find your way to the town hall where the people requiring healing is growing smaller and smaller, thanks to a certain somebody. And, yeah, the party can meet up outside the town hall.
Oh, I'm glad to see you made it back in one piece.
Yeah, sorry about that. Got back a little late.
No worries. Did you find anything?
We followed our friends to a very interesting clearing, but nobody came to visit. Still, I marked the trees, so we should be able to find a way back to it. And maybe investigate the site a little bit.
Okay. So he went there expecting to presumably meet with this lizard in the woods. I can only assume that it's a dragon of some kind.
Well, he was looking at the sky. I somehow doubt he went up there for the view. Go ahead, Star.
He did look up a couple times.
We waited for about an hour, and then he headed back, and we lingered behind for another 10 minutes just to see. Nothing came. And we came back.
Is it possible that you guys might have been discovered?
I sincerely don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
He
mean, not
seems
not by him. Whoever he was planning on meeting.
No, I think we were pretty well hidden. Like, if we were caught, well, that person, whatever, the dragon or anything, they would have seen us ages ago and they would have just trampled us.
We stayed in the woods as well. We didn't go in the clearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Then perhaps we should investigate the site.
All right.
We'll have an alibi that we're going to venture into the woods and try and find clues that lead us to wherever this dragon cult retreated to.
We can
before
head
we go,
north around.
one of the nurses sticks her head out and looks over at you, Aravir, and sort of, as everyone does whenever in this village when they confront you, there's like a little like bow in respect for your royal blood, and it says, "Princess Aravir." I should probably give him a name after all of this, shouldn't I? He says, "Balin wishes to speak with you." That's the old warrior. He says he has something important to say to you.
Yeah, I'll go speak with him. Do you guys mind giving me just a moment?
Take the time you need.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll go in and speak with Balin, B-A-L-E-N.
Beilен. It's Belin, I suppose?
Violence?
Elves.
Belin. Yep, Belin. Head over to Belin, and he will sort of take your hand, Aravir, and says, Princess, I'm sorry to steal more of your time. Very uncouth. He's like sitting up at this point. He goes, my memory of the fight, it grows less foggy since that remedy you gave me. I'm still very weak, but I had a memory I might share with you, if you don't mind.
I'd appreciate all the help I can get. Of course, thank you.
I was in the battle, you see. I was armored and armed and fighting away at the cultists, and many saw a dragon eat that head priest, but I think I saw that there was some cultist riding atop the dragon. I'd never seen someone ride a dragon before. That's why I thought it so strange. They wore long purple robes. Must have looked like a human, perhaps? Like the other cultists? I didn't get a good look, but I presume it may have been a human. But perhaps then again it could have been an elf, or maybe a half-elf. They moved with some grace, unmistakable to an elf, but it's difficult to say. I can't know for sure. But one thing I do know is just that there was a rider on the dragon, a cultist with great purple robes, and was either a human or an elf. I could not say for sure.
Okay. Did they do anything in particular in the battle?
Nothing that I could have noted. I saw them, but only for an instant before the next blade fell. That's when I fell in the battle.
Do I know what... I can't remember his name now. Do I know what the leader of the dragon cults looks like?
You were there for Varen, and you were also there for whoever the black one was. What was her name?
Resmir.
Resmir.
Yes.
Resmir. That's right. So you've seen Resmir and you've seen Varen. Is that what you mean? Is that who you're referring to? The leaders?
No, I meant the big bad one. I'm trying to find it in my notes and I can't. I don't remember their name.
Oh,
But
I know there
whoever's in
was
like charge.
I know there
like you
was an
mean
elf that we killed.
the big bad one.
Tiamat, that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, yeah. You mean Severin, who has been referenced in certain
Seven.
documents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seven. Yeah.
You've never seen Severin before.
Okay. Do the description of the robes sound like the robes that Resmir and Varen were wearing?
If you go into detail, like asking for details, they will describe similarly like long, excessively regaliaed purple with gold trim. Uh, yeah, they match.
Okay.
You get the sense that yeah, that this could be a purple wearer of purple. This could be one of the worm speakers.
Oh, did the rider wear a mask?
It's a mask. I cannot recall. Um, I do not know, I'm afraid. I saw them from the back.
Okay. Did
It
it
looked
seem?
to be of a man's body, if that helps at all. Again, not perfectly easy to say considering how heavy the robes were, but if I had to assume.
Okay. Well, that is helpful. Thank you. If you remember anything else, please let me know.
I will. I will.
Did it appear that the rider gave the dragon a command and that's why it left?
Perhaps. I could not say, Princess, I'm afraid.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. You've done well.
Okay. Very well. And one of them nearby, and you kind of like help him get comfortable and put him back to bed, and he goes to sleep. And a little smile on his face. You get the sense that he feels happy that he helped, or thinks that he helped anyway, or perhaps he did.
Yeah, I'll go back out and tell the others what I learned from them about the rider. Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I think when I spoke to the Raven, it told me that this leader, the leader of this village now, was a rider of this lizard. Am I mistaken? Did he say that?
Yep.
Wait, you said the leader of the village was riding the lizard?
No, no. The Raven said that the leader of the village went to meet with the dragon and his rider.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good to clarify.
Raven,
okay.
Yeah, that's what the Raven was insinuating, that they had met the dragon with his rider.
Got it. Well, let's see what we can find out and maybe we confront Callan later.
Okay, and I mean, if he returned to this spot before, perhaps he'll be there again tonight. And this time, we can all be there.
A question, DM.
Yep.
Hunter's Mark. If I cast that on somebody, do they know they have Hunter's Mark on them?
I have said in the past, it's a little tricky, because there's nowhere in there that says that they don't. But, it's a tricky question. Could you go ahead and read me exactly what the description of Hunter's Mark is?
Mm-hmm. You choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 damage to the target whenever you hit it with a weapon attack, and you have advantage on any perception, wisdom, or survival check that you make to find it. If the target Drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends. You can use a bonus action to mark a new creature. When you cast the spell using a higher level, the concentration can last up to 8 hours. Doesn't say anything about
Yeah.
the target name.
I will say that when you cast it in combat, and you may choose how the mark looks, a mark does appear on them, though it is harmless and unnoticeable other than the mark itself. If you wanted to, I'd say, yeah, you could like mark like the back of their neck or something like that, and they wouldn't be any the wiser.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, it happens and it is noticeable, but yeah, you can conceal it on your quarry.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so the party intends to go check out the meeting spot, the presumable meeting spot of the leader, of the warden, I could say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make you do a check again, Ciela. I think per your ranger power, you're pretty well equipped at this point to get there and back again. You guys travel for maybe like 20 minutes through the woods. Maybe some of the elves mark your direction, and you come upon once more. You come upon this like small clearing. It is not very big now that the sun is out. You can see like it's not that big at all. It's like 40 to 60 foot radius, maybe at different points. But the most central patch, there is an opening in the canopy, a big enough opening in the canopy. These trees are fucking huge, man. These are skyscraping trees. And you do see that the terrain is flattened. The foliage, the branches, the grass, it is all like it's completely flattened, like something very large has been stomping around here.
Okay. I'm gonna start looking to see, for example, if the dragon landed, it would have left tracks, and I want to know how big the feet are to get an idea of how big the dragon is.
Again, no check required. You find a big track that is larger than your entire body. This is without a doubt an ancient green dragon from what you've learned.
This is a big motherfucker, guys.
Okay.
Great fun.
Yeah, and you do expect that it did fly in and fly out. There's no tracks that like lead deeper into the woods. It probably just flew down and flew back up and left.
What can we find out about our friend the warden without him, getting a phone number, finding stuff out about him? Would be kind of good to know how long he's been in the military. Anything about his past?
Yeah, we can try to learn more about that. I wonder what kind of bargaining chip he has to be able to stop an attack.
Well, could be he could have led the priest to be abducted, if that's in fact what happened. Like maybe that's the bargaining chip.
Yeah, maybe. Mhm. Hmm. We can try confronting him.
Hmm.
I think we should maybe speak to your brother about this first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should keep this information close to chest for the time being. We're going to want concrete proof.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been meeting with Severn himself. Potentially, or at least one of the leaders, based on the type of robes that they were wearing.
Mm. Someone important, at least.
To ride an ancient green dragon, I would say
Purple robes, riding ancient dragon. They want something.
Okay. You guys all begin to track back through the woods towards Altan to presumably speak to Prince Elegarthus regarding this concern. Or maybe something else, but for the time being, let's take a break.
Okay.
Take like a 10-15 minute break. We'll be back and see what happens next in Altan for you guys.
That was good.
Okay, let's hop to it. Okay. Easily enough, you track your way back through the woods, find your way up the pulleys, and you wish to speak to Prince Elegarthus. Okay, nay. Yep, okay. Seeing some nods. Okay. As usual, he's sort of here and there about the village, talking to various rangers and whatever, like trying to keep help aid in the stability of the region, talk to various scouts. And you all approach, and he'll say, Andaran Etishon, be safe in this place. How fares your investigation?
Now look at the others.
We're making progress. We've uncovered certain informations, and we wanted to consult you before acting on them.
I appreciate your confidence. Please, I'm all ears. And he'll nod to his men, and they'll kind of do that sort of like salute stance, and they will kind of proceed into the village and give you your privacy with the prince.
Since the death of your priest, you have a new acting head of this village. Do we ever get his name?
Yeah, you got his name. It is Warden. Come on now, Gallon. Warden Gallon.
Warden Gallon.
And in fact, Elegarthus referred you to him as well.
Yeah, this Warden Gallon. We are concerned that he may be in league with the Dragon Cult, or at the very least has orchestrated a deal with them.
I feared such a thing. I knew that there was something he was not saying, but I couldn't imagine it ran. I didn't want to imagine it ran so deep.
Apparently he has been sneaking out at night. And there's a clearing in the woods where he's been meeting with, as his raven referred to as, the lizard in the woods and its rider.
I never heard of someone who I here and there, but from what I've heard of the size of the strike, I never heard of a rider of a dragon so ancient.
Well, apparently there is one. And perhaps it's one of the mask holders. They seem to have dominion over these types of dragons. He might have the green mask.
Mask holder. Huh. It sounds like someone important, and perhaps something you wish to get your hands on then.
Yeah. We, a pair of our party members followed him in the woods, and he did go there, but he was not met. But it's pretty clear that this clearing was made by something enormous.
A dragon, you presume.
That's what we presume.
I suppose that there's nothing left to be done then to confront him on his actions then, yes?
Yeah, we don't have any concrete evidence as of yet.
But still, it would speak something unto itself if he was willing to lie before, sort of reference to earlier and say, to royalty. He has been spoken of quite highly by the villagers. I would be abhorred to think that he's so deceptive as to be a wholehearted member of this cult. I much prefer the assumption that this is something to save the village, perhaps.
And it may very well be.
Yes. Well, I suggest caution. You are right, we do not know the full story, and I would hate to ruin the reputation of a good elf in front of his new charge. But a lot of signs are pointing down a very unfortunate path that the warden has taken.
There is one more thing.
Yes.
We have reason to speculate that the priest wasn't killed and that he was rather captured. Sorry, she was rather captured.
I thought she was dead. I heard many speak of her death.
The attack ended once the dragon swallowed the priest. So Eravir and I were speculating.
That's not necessarily true, just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, Eravir and I are speculating that the dragon just kept it in its maw and flew away with her.
Or it could have been a ploy. Once the priest was gone, that gave Warden Gallon power and influence here. Control.
But for such a small study, it's possible people hunger for power. It just seems like such a... Maybe. Perhaps the dragon cult wished this village for some unknown strategical reason that we have not yet considered. And that's to have a pawn in the right place suits them more than the treasure it holds. It's all speculation at this point.
Okay. Well,
we do know that he did go to the spot, though, because Star and I followed him last night.
Indeed. Of course. Of course. It sounds like you've rallied an exceptional account of the battle itself, and are first-hand witness to some somewhat damning actions on his part, if not simply to go to a place of such obvious visitation by the dragon, shall we say. What do you intend to do?
I think this information needs to stay in this room amongst us, and we continue to watch him. I think what would be best is to catch him in the act. And we need to make preparations. We know where they meet, so we need to be ready.
Time is of the essence. Well, to some degree. If there were to be a counterattack, it's only a matter of time.
This is true.
Whatever you intend to do, I stand behind you. Just be cautious as you go. If you were to follow him, consider, if you were to follow him and the dragon were there, I doubt hiding from it would be very easy. Dragons are known to have the keenest eyes in all the world.
We will take extra precautions. And you stay safe as well.
Sure. I shall ensure, to the best of my ability, that the that this place is as safe as it can. I still fear for it should the dragon attack. The overarching strategical disadvantages will not go away. There's only so much that can be done. If we were to be attacked again, I don't think this village would hold. Even
Well,
with the Eldritch Knights, even with me.
I can do an occasional check. I can sense dragons from far away if I focus, maybe like 5 miles or so.
I see.
So if
Your power extends beyond many of the rangers here, then.
oh, I do what I can.
Well, many are acclimatized more to the hunting of beasts than to dragons, so I am unsurprised, I suppose, that you are a ranger of such caliber. Very well. As I said, you are all sent here on behalf of the Council of Waterdeep into Long Winter Hound. You have my full confidence and respect. So, what you choose to do, you have, of course, my support. I thank you for your entrusting me of this, and it will not go unhonored.
Of course. We're here with a very specific job, and that is to help the people of the Misty Forest and to stop the dragon cult.
Very well. I shall simply behave as if I know nothing more and wait for all of you. But I advise, consider confrontation. At least an initial one. His actions are deeply concerning. Sometimes a little bit of pressure applied in the right place can make all the difference. But, as I've said, I shall follow you. Good luck,
Okay.
whatever you plan to do. He will nod and will return to his duties amongst Oldhound.
Okay. What do you all think? What do you think is the best course of action here?
Well, I'd like to go get Laragoth, in any case.
That might be a good idea, actually. In case she does something unexpected.
Well, not so much that, but maybe more so to see if she has spotted anything that can be of help. And also to have backup if we do get attacked.
That I agree.
Okay. Let's make the preparations we need. And we'll stake out the forest. Whether the dragon shows or not, we'll make our confrontation.
Okay. The day will go by. You guys will either help those who need aid, which is not many more at this point, or simply meander. Despite the sorrow that has cloaked this village, the Misty Forest is a place unlike many others. The towering, skyscraping trees, the gentle rain on the leaves, the wind, the grass. It is a beautiful place, the mist itself. Maybe you simply take some time amongst nature and enjoy it, or connect with whatever gods you call yours, or simply stand perfectly still for several hours, like at least one person is prone to do every now and then. But in the end, night falls, the sun fades into the moon and the stars, and then that fades even still into the deep night when, indeed, you all might spy the warden himself, Galen, disappearing into the woods like last night. I'd like a group stealth check, please.
16.
16.
13.
Um, 15 plus 11 is 26.
Ooh, very nice. I got a 9.
Oh,
Let me just fork a little bit over to Terrence.
very good. 24. Very, very good. You guys are going to average at a hot 17. Do you guys want to just like make your way right to the clearing ahead of time, or do you want to follow him to the clearing?
I think I'm going to stay back a good distance.
From the clearing, or are you going to wait for him to descend and follow? As a reminder, it is very, very dark, Terrence, especially for your human eyes.
This is true. Then, I mean, we're following him, or are we out there to begin with?
That's what I'm asking. Would you guys like to be out there to begin with, or follow him there?
I think we should be out there to begin with, since we already know where he's going.
Fair enough. That is the will of the council. You all make your way out there maybe like an hour or two before last time and sort of set up shop in the deep evening. It's worth noting that Cielo and Star, oh, you got your long rest. You're good. You set up shop. You wait. You wait. You wait. You wait. And at around the appointed time, almost spot on. None of you can really tell time, but so really you actually have no idea, as none of you can tell time very well without the use of an implement. Indeed, the Warden of Altan does appear in his elven cloak. You are all sort of scattered around the brush. Do you wish to wait and see if something big and nasty shows up?
Mm.
I think we should wait a little bit.
Okay. You wait 10 minutes, some 20 minutes. Very slowly does the time pass, turning into 30 minutes as you sit and do nothing and wait for something. The warden himself stands. As time begins to pass, he seems agitated as well, sort of tapping of a finger. Elven grace allows him to not have to lean on things or kind of like sway in the spot or all those little idiosyncrasies that humans have. He simply can stand straight backed and well for a very long time without needing to break and sit. And so he does, but you do see the agitation in his body language. 40 minutes. Waits. You wait. 5 minutes. 50 minutes. 55 minutes. Sticks snapping in his hand, throwing them, and picking leaves off of trees. And he shakes his head in agitation and turns around and begins to stomp away from the clearing. You allow him to?
If nobody else does it, I will grab him and pull him against the tree.
Okay. You swing out from behind the tree. You grab him. What did you roll for stealth specifically?
Me?
Yep.
9.
9. You go to move to him, and there's a very sound of blades being unveiled from his cloak as he turns around. He says, "Make yourself known. Do it now." And as you sort of step out to grab him, he's on full guard.
I'll light my shield.
Your shield lights. and he sees you, and his eyes kind of widen in a sort of like, oh no kind of way. Not necessarily like I'm in danger, but like in a like I've been caught or like fear for trouble kind of way. Like oh I'm in so much trouble kind of way. And he says, "You." He like looks around and he shields his swords immediately and puts his hands up and goes, What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same.
You you must have followed. Still no explanation. You followed me out here.
Why don't you tell me what you're doing out here?
I'm I want you to, as you confront him, um he says I'm simply out at night. The solidarity helps me helps me.
Enough of the lies.
Make a persuasion check.
Because we already know. That's a 12. I think I'm going to use my inspiration. A little bit better. 14.
14. He goes, already know what? What evidence do you have against me if you mean to accuse me of something, human?
We have ways of acquiring knowledge, and we know you come out here to meet with a dragon and its rider.
Baseless accusations. I will not be. He sort of like huffs. He goes, how dare you? You have no idea what I have been through, that you come here and accuse me of something so horrific as to be, what, in league with this cult? How dare you? How little you understand what I have been through, what my people have been through.
Can we hear this conversation happening?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are all very aware of this, if not wishing to come out yourselves and speak.
Then perhaps lay all your cards on the table, and I will cast Zone of Truth on him.
You cast Zone of Truth on him. He'll make a charisma save, which he will fail. And he sort of goes, how dare you? How dare you? I need an answer to you. And he will turn and start making his way.
I'll step in front of him.
He will say,
Explain how you were on a walk.
explain how I was on the walk. Very well, I used my feet. Now be out of my way. I will not answer to such accusations.
Eravir will step out at this time and say, Galen, I believe you. You lost your wife, and I recall her from my time spent in the village, and I don't think you would do anything to harm your village further. We're only here to help as well. Please, we're on the same side.
You mention, you say like you mention his wife. In the first mention of your wife, you see like this like how dare you exterior immediately changes into like it's very like you see it on his face that he's trying to keep a mask up, but it hits him like a wall when you bring up his wife. And you say that like I knew your wife, and I know you. And you start to sort of commiserate with him, and you see the pain of that is very prevalent across his face, and you get the sense that you have found a good thread to pull on if you wish to continue.
Does he respond at all? I said,
He will
like,
say, "Okay, go ahead, sorry."
no, you go ahead.
He says, "So I did everything in my power to save my people. My wife, she died. I did not know. I did everything I could to save my people, and I didn't know that she was gone."
I'll subtle cast detect thoughts at this point.
You subtle cast detect thoughts, and less words. You see, indeed, the face you do recognize. Just sort of like literally, like almost like a visual image of his wife in his mind, and you can feel the emotion. Eravir, you have lost people due to distance and moving on with their lives and such things. But I don't believe that you have lost someone to violent death before, if I'm not mistaken.
Other than Terrence, no.
No. So perhaps you might relate in some capacity because he was gone for a while, and the pain of that was great. But this is it almost hits you like a wave. It's subtle. It's just, you subtle casted it, so the sign of the casting doesn't give you away, and nor does this give you away. But you feel his pain inflicted back on you. Obviously unintentionally, but you feel this sharp dagger of grief hit you. That what he is feeling. He is very genuine in his just morose pain for his loss, and his mind is filled with thoughts of his wife, and it is painful for him.
And you did save some of your people. We've seen the destruction of the cult across the lands, and they don't leave anyone alive, so you must have done something that rescued your people, and we only wish to know how you managed to do that.
He shakes his head and kind of sobs into his hands, and falls to his knees and cries. And to Eravir probably alone, it's probably like a moment of like, whoa. Because like, he's the leader of the village. He's an elf of a couple hundred years old, no doubt. Probably 400 years old. And when a creature, and as you would know, when creatures grow to such many hundreds of years, they have experienced so much joy and so much grief in their life that they're just jaded to emotion. They don't cry after a certain point. They don't laugh after a certain point. To see an elf of such age break down, it's unheard of. Not culturally, just because of what they become.
When he falls to the ground, I'll kneel before him and put a gentle hand on his shoulder. I'll tell him, they took my family too. And we are also here to help your people. I have been working diligently to help your people, but you need to help us and tell us the truth.
Good. And he like actively like holds his chest, almost gripping at it as if he could like try and soothe his own heart inside of his chest, but he cannot. And he kind of, you would hear Eravir. That was a bit of a thing where he like kind of broke down. So we'll say around the end of your, he says in his head, "He's right. He's right. If anyone can help, must be that." And your spell kind of fades. And he looks at you, Terrence, and nods. Says, "Oh, I confess that in the battle, I saw my wife cut down across the battle. This was. She was a warrior as well. She fell to their blades, and I. Before I could get to her, there was a dragon between me and her. And I found myself face to face with its rider. In the thick of the battle, I begged for her life. I dropped my weapons and fell to my knees. I begged for her life. I begged to stop, to cease, so I might save her. At this point, passive insight starts to give off that he has a hard time making eye contact with you, Eric. And his next words become more difficult to say. He says, I begged, and I offered anything in return. The rider, he took my offer. He agreed to spare me and spare the village, what was left of it, intact, in exchange for. He asked for information on other settlements for the next round of their raids. They wanted to know where. Wanted me to tell him what the best pickings were, where the least defended were, where best to go. And I agreed. I do not know who this person is. I do not know where they go now, or where they fled to, where they fly to. However, I have watched the dragon fly from this place on a course due southeast. I have also noticed that when the rider comes, his clothing is drenched, soaked. Every time.
Okay.
He is an elf. A moon elf, I expect, with palish purple skin and long black hair. I did not know who this person was. I do not recognize them, nor do I know their name. But they come when they please, and expect me to be here every night to share with them this information. It's the only way to save Old Hand now that I lead them, and she was dead. If I don't tell them, I'll just kill everybody else. We'll take everything we have. I am a coward. I'm a coward who's traded lives of others for the lives I could have.
Can I detect thoughts again subtly and ask what did this rider look like?
He will say, I told you. He was, and as he begins to give the physical description again, the image sort of comes to life in his brain. You see, indeed, as you suspected, the long purple robes of a worm speaker. This worm speaker wears no mask, but has long black hair, gleaming blue eyes, more grayish skin, in fact. And he corrects himself now. He says, "No, not purple, more gray, not like a drow, to be clear, but like a moon elf, silvery almost." And as the image comes into play, your heart sinks in your stomach.
Oh, I know who it is.
You recognize, well, yeah?
Yeah.
You wish to say it? You say it?
Maybe I don't say it right away, but I look shocked and like take a step back. And she'll say no. I can't be.
He looks at you confused. You recognize this person?
Yes. You see, I have 2 brothers. That's Neuronbean.
You look surprised. Prince Neuronvein? Of the exiled Prince Neuronvein?
The very one. We used to be close, even.
Dallin is shocked to hear this information. There is an image of Prince Neuronvein in the Facebook chat, if anyone cared to go see. That is what you see, Aravir, in his mind's eye.
That's some shit.
I had no idea. The exiled prince is with the dragon cult?
Apparently.
Do you think the king knows of this?
No. No, I highly doubt it. But I do know he's very dangerous.
Oh, I'll turn my attention back to Gallon. Say, you have the power to make this right. Work with us, and we will do what we can to bring this prince to justice.
He nods his head. So I'll do anything I can. Whatever I must.
We will keep an eye on you. Keep coming out here.
No.
Maintain your end of the bargain.
You must, you should go. You should pursue the dragon. To stay here would only to be allowing more villages to fall. You must understand, they're biding their time. They are preparing with attacks. I've shared too much. They know where to go, and I have no idea where they will go first, but they will go and they will strike more elven villages. Every moment you wait is a moment closer to when they strike again. I don't even know if you'll return ever again, or if they're satisfied with what I've told them. You could wait for days, weeks, and they might never show up again, until it's too late and some hundreds have died again. You must correct my foolishness. Please. Do not let others die because of my cowardice.
Yes, you're right. And I'll plunge my shield into the earth, and I'll embrace him.
He takes your embrace and kind of is stunned by it, and then kind of accepts it. And he doesn't like full on break down again, but emotion flows once more. In the wake of confronting the feelings of his wife, and then his guilt, his crushing guilt, and then forgiveness, it's overwhelming, and you feel sort of like shakes of bated, overwhelmed breath as he accepts your hug, and he will pull back and kind of pull himself together and say, "Thank you. Please make haste."
And you, right any wrongs you may have done. Any neighboring villages you might have given information about. Give them warning.
Are you sure? I will do as you say, but I wouldn't wish to alert them that they know of our betrayal. I fear for my village if they have spies.
You think there are spies in your village?
I don't know. I don't know if in my village, I do not if what magics they have access to. You would know better than I. I fear for their lives, what lives are left. I will do what you say, though. You know better of this than I. I don't want to lose anyone else.
Can we get like all the information that he already gave?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Galen's information. Absolutely. He confesses that after seeing his wife killed on the battlefield, he found himself face to face with Neuron Vein, the prince of the Misty Forest, the exiled prince, and apparently the worm speaker of Green. He begged for the life of his wife and offered anything in return, and Neuron Vein took the warden up on his offer and agreed to spare Galen and the rest of Oltan, leave it intact in exchange for information on other settlements that would become the target of the cult's next round of raids. Galen did not seem to be able to identify Neuron Vein's identity, other than simply the Green Worm Speaker, nor the location of Neuron Vein, and who's apparently Chuff is the name of the dragon, according to the Raven. However, he did mention that he has always noted the dragon coming and going due southeast from here, and has also noticed that every time the worm speakers arrived, they have been drenched to the bone. Not like rain, like drenched. Like they just stepped out of a pool of water or something.
Okay. Well, we've done everything we can to save all the injured and poisoned in your village. We cannot be at every village. As much as it's important to save your people, our duty is to save everyone. An impossible task, but that's our burden to bear. Now we will make our way southeast and try to track down this prince and this dragon. And hopefully stop them.
I will. Do you wish me to send word to the other villages?
I think they should know. Unless my other party members have any objections. I think they need to know. At the very least, that danger may be coming, and they need to be prepared. At the very least, to evacuate when necessary.
Is there any way to send a coded message, like by bird or?
We have no druids, but we do have rangers, and they can move through the wilds with relative stealth. I will send what messengers I can, as quickly and quietly as I can. I will see it done, and I will see it done as safely as possible.
Perhaps we reach out to King Melandrock, and maybe we can even lay a trap for the cultists since we know they're coming.
I do not know. I'm terribly sorry, Princess, but I have no idea where they will be coming from. I've given them information on many targets. There's no telling which one they will attack first.
Are the Sunset Mountains southeast of here?
They're, I'm pretty sure they're, yeah, southeast, but quite a great many miles.
Like too far for an ancient dragon to fly, or
If the dragon's coming here nightly, or had at least been coming here nightly, there's no way. Impossible.
Okay.
do you know?
You can roll me a. Oh, sorry.
Do you know of any like large waterfalls or underwater cavern systems or anything like that in the area?
Possibly. I'm not a ranger so much. I'm the warden. I don't leave the village as much, but maybe some of the rangers do.
I mean, we have one of those. And a pretty damn good
Perhaps
tracker.
it is simply best then. Perhaps it is simply best then to scout the wilds southeast of here and investigate any sources of water, any bodies of water as you come across. If your ranger is as skilled as they say, I'm sure that perhaps you might be able to track the dragon better than any other in the village.
Do my best. Sienna will take
Okay.
a chance just now just to do the whole.
Let me go find out.
It's a 5-mile radius.
5 mile radius. No dragons. You
Okay.
do sense the humanoids back in the direction of Althand. Maybe a couple little specks here and there. Nothing to be concerned of.
Okay.
Ooh, actually. You do sense one draconic signature, not in that direction, but more north and only like 2 miles off.
Okay.
You sense it sort of at ground level, kind of. But it's not surrounded by any humanoids whatsoever.
Okay, I'm gonna like do the Laragoth whistle.
Do you think your whistle is strong enough to be heard 2 miles off?
No, but I'll do it anyway.
Okay.
Just in case.
You'll-
Never know which way it falls with the wind.
Yeah, fair enough. You do your whistle. No creatures to speak of. I'm running.
Let's find Laragoth next. I have an idea where she might be.
Well,
Here, I might be able to help. Can I use thaumaturgy to imitate that whistle but make it louder?
Sure. Make me a performance check to whistle like Ciela did.
All right.
Sorry, Vera, we'll come right back to you in a second.
15.
It's pretty good. Yeah, Ciela, you let out this sharp whistle that is like kind of like an ear-splitting whistle. Nothing. And Terrence like, and then it goes, and then it's like, the trees like, and like everyone's like, and this just like bone rattlingly sharp whistle, like maybe even cracks like some of the trees just up the bark, and it done went very far, that sound, for sure. Everyone in Old Town's like, ah! as this whistle goes forth. It is just the Wendigo, somewhere in the woods. It whistles sharp. It is known. But you do this, and you're hard done by not to be heard for quite a ways away. Eric, what was it that you wanted to do? Sorry.
nothing.
The warden's like, did we get sidetracked? What just happened?
Just calling some reinforcements. Why don't you make it back to the village and I suppose we'll do a little trekking, set up camp, and once we get good rests, we'll make our way southeast.
Okay. All right. Very well. And he will stand and kind of look around at you as if he's about to say something, and almost dissatisfied with himself, he kind of just gives you a final nod and kind of looks at the ground as he turns and walks back towards Altan, a village that he has protected in the most shameful way. And you are left standing in the clearing. You hear, I don't know if my sound suppression is going to cut me off here, but you guys hear sort of in the dark, you hear this sound of kind of come from up in the boughs of the tree. This sort of almost like throaty, familiar, clicking growl. Sort of come from up above. There's like some saliva sort of drips on the Ciella's shoulder and like burns acidically. You're muted.
Hey, watch it.
And you look up, and it's like a full like Tarzan once he's grown up, where he goes to go, like, and she's like, "I know you're not gonna do that," kind of thing. And look up, and like Lyregoth is like held onto the tree, and is like his head's like right above yours, and he's like right above she's like right above you, and her like teeth are like open, like she's about to bite your head off. Like you're like, cut it out, and she's like, and kind of just like hops off the tree and slams on the ground, kind of shakes herself off, kind of looks around at you all.
And Ciela does something surprising. She actually just walks up to Lyragoth and just hugs Lyragoth.
What are you? Are you trying to grapple me?
No, it's affection. I missed you.
Well, stop it. It's weird. It's kind of like
All right.
awkwardly, like in that teenager asshole kind of way, like puts her hand in, and just kind of like cries you off. And he's like, ugh. Don't do that again. That was weird. Kind of like does like a little circle around herself, kind of like shakes herself off, like she got to
Do we want to do a little bit of moving now, or are we going to set up camp here?
I might as well set up camp for the rest of the night. Head out dawn break.
I want to get word back to Aligarthus. He's going to want to know.
Yeah, he's probably awake after that whistle. I didn't think it was going to be that loud, but I'm glad it worked out. I'll send a sending to Aligarthus.
Sending happens. Go for it.
We confronted Warden Gallon. His actions were only to save your village. And he provided us information on the dragon and its rider. Pursuing now.
Damn, perfect use of 25 words. He responds and says, very well. What war does to us. Go carefully, my friend. There are few who know what to do better. But go with grace.
Okay, he knows.
How far is the village from here?
A mile, thereabouts. It'd be like 15, 20 minutes to walk back.
I think I need to speak with my brother in person.
Okay.
I'll be back in a couple hours though.
Yep. Yeah, Aravir, you make your way through the wood. And the party, if you guys want to set up camp in the clearing, you certainly can. You walk Aravir and easy enough, return back to the village and find your way up to where you know Aligarthus's quarters are. You do see that there is a lamp or two on within his quarters. He is awake, probably.
I'll knock on the door or door frame.
Sure. And he opens the door and sees you and says, Erebin, I'm surprised to see you. Terrence told me that you and yours were in pursuit.
We are, but I think he failed to mention who we're in pursuit of.
I see. Please come in, please. He looks around as he probably gets the sense that this is important information that maybe shouldn't be held by elders, and he invites you into his little stebbing. He says, I'm all ears. You've identified this worm speaker you've told me about. Who is it? Anyone I know?
It's our brother, Nirenbane. Seriously.
Nirenbane? What? No, it doesn't make any sense. Nirenbane. He's a follower of Sekani Moonbow. He would. What? I would never have thought in 1,000 years he would have abandoned the faith of Sekani for Tiamat. Are you sure? What evidence do you have?
I saw it for myself. I used a spell to infiltrate Galen's mind, and when he brought forth the vision of the rider, it was our brother.
No. Who? What?
I know, I can hardly believe it myself. I have very fond memories of him, and I never would have thought I could do something like that, but he's been in exile for quite some time. I wonder what corruption he might have been met with. He might hate Father for what he did.
I knew that he and Father did not get along well, but this is... What? Rebellion against our father? Make no mistake, and I'm sure you can attest, Eravir, our father is not winning any awards for his parenting, but this for revenge against Melindroth? This is... What could have possibly possessed him to do this? He must be... Something must be bending his arm. He must be under some thrall of such. And he's in charge? He's one of the leaders.
That's right, yeah. And I think a powerful one at that. He rides an ancient green dragon. I don't imagine you...
He attacked Oltant. He attacked Oltant. He was the rider.
That's right, yeah. He killed our people.
He killed our people.
And he plans to kill more. They're setting up another round of raids.
I can't believe this. You hear of people who've had loved ones join the dragon cult, but this is our brother. He's killed the elves. So many. Can't believe what I'm hearing.
Neither can I, and I think Father must know. We need reinforcements. The villages aren't safe.
You're right. I will send word to the border patrols and have them fall into the villages themselves for protection to protect these settlements. I will arrange it. But you, Erevier, you must bring our brother to justice. I'll protect our people, but you must be the one to confront him. You two are always closer. I don't know in what possible world he could ever be redeemed for such evil, but if there's anyone who might try and redeem him and bring him back to his senses, it's you.
I'll certainly
No,
try.
I don't know. Sorry, please, sorry.
No, she'll just say she'll try. Maybe he is enthralled. I hope so. I hope it is something like that. I didn't want to believe it to be in his nature, but he was very angry with Father.
This is... I don't know what to feel. I'm ashamed. Earlier, I know you have tensions with Father about your heritage. But you are royalty, you are a princess of the Elven, and it falls on me and you to restore the honor of the elves, to see justice done. I know what Father has said about your being worthy of the throne or not, but damn him. It is the responsibility of us to bring justice to our lands, Arabia. So go, as a princess of the Misty Forest, bring justice and retribution to our people. Stop our brother. Stop the evil he's done.
Thank you, brother. Do what you can to protect our villages.
I will do all that's within my power to do. He'll embrace you. He embraces you, he hugs you. Partly for him, partly for you, you expect. He holds that for a minute.
And she'll hug him back. And share that moment with him.
He pulls back and says, some family we turned out to be.
Well, perhaps we'll salvage it yet.
Do not trust a hope. I love my brother, but as a prince of this forest, what he has done is beyond redemption, wouldn't you say?
It's atrocious. I can hardly believe it.
Earlier, though Father would perhaps have a heart attack if you heard me say it, I think that you were the best of the three of us, perhaps. Maybe it's that human in you, but you learn so much so fast. Anything you dedicate yourself to, you succeed in. You have a morality and a reality about you that exceeds certainly our brother, maybe even me. If there was any of the three of us who needed to go on such a task as this kind of justice, I'm glad it should be you. So go, whatever you decide, Erebir I will make peace with, and I will entrust your judgment with. If you choose to redeem him, fine. If he's enthralled and you save him, fine. If he must not be anymore, if he's too dangerous to be left alone. I understand that too. I trust you, sister.
Thank you for your faith. I'll do what must be done.
Well, I shall rouse the Eldritch Knights and prepare the defenses of the northern forest. He'll put his hand on his shoulder, and though he is not a worshipper as intensely as you, he says, "May the Moonweavers guide your steps under the moonlight."
Thank you. She'll give him a last look and depart.
Both of you will depart. Aligarth sort of does a little head shake as if to right himself, and he walks with intention to go rouse those necessary people. And you may return to your party if you so wish.
Before I go, actually, can maybe on the way out of the village, if there's, do I pass any of the rangers?
Yeah. There's rangers who are awake at night, maybe have already tranced, and they kind of walk along the boughs like an active guard.
Excuse me, you wouldn't happen to have.
Of course. I mean, as many moments as you require, Princess.
Well, what bodies of water are you familiar with southeast of here?
He sort of thinks to himself, and he's going to roll a little nature check to see if he recalls. He rolls pretty good. He says, "Well, let me think. I haven't been there in some time, and though we do not have a name for it, there is a rather fine body of water with a beautiful waterfall that goes into it. That is certainly the largest in the first and most largest in the southeastern direction. There's a couple of smaller ones here or there. There's a couple of streams as well. No doubt it is any large amount of streams. How far do you wish to extend the search?"
Well, the one with the waterfall sounds promising. Could you sketch a map for me? And she'll pull out some paper and maybe, I don't know if he can do that.
Yes. That may be difficult for me, admittedly, Princess. I mean no offense. I simply, I guess, interpret directions not as a cartographer might. But I can tell you,
Sure.
I can tell you that it is about 300 miles due about southeast of Altand. Yes.
Okay, that's helpful. Well, thank you. You've done a great service tonight, and remain
30
diligent.
miles, if I got that wrong. 30 miles.
30. Okay.
Did I say 300?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. 30. Sorry, I was like, it says 30 miles to about southeast of Altand. Yes, of course, Princess. Anything to help? Is there anything else you might require?
Just keep your eyes on the sky. Be careful.
I shall. May the Moonweaver guide your steps.
And yours as well. And she'll head back to the camp now.
Easy enough. 18-ish minutes later, You find yourself back at your party's camp, where one of them probably holds watch. You may find your way to rest if you wish. We'll say for the sake of things, Lyragoth is holding watch and sees you approaching, kind of very pointedly tries to show you that they're upset with you. Whatever.
Yeah. I'll add that to my list of disgruntled individuals.
It's very like ridiculous. Like
No.
incredible. You fall asleep. The dragon comes while you're asleep. No. You all get a long rest. You all get a nice, healthy long rest.
All right.
In the morning, I'll tell the party about the lake and waterfall about 30 miles from here.
I would say it's just to be clear, it's not a lake. It's I think you would describe it as like a large pond, like a not a reservoir. That would be wrong.
A lagoon.
A lagoon. Actually, that's actually probably very close. Yeah.
A lock. A lock.
A lock. There's no dwarves around. So we'll say that, yeah, it's like a sort of like lagoon or oasis or a large pond or something like that. And you're all informed by Airbnb.
Yeah, water.
What the?
But this is good news. This is very good to hear.
Do I have my griffin with me? Is Helios around? Can I have picked up Helios?
Yeah. Yeah, you picked up Helios, sure.
Okay,
Because you guys rode and flew over here, so yeah, absolutely.
sweet.
My horse!
Helios goes.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. No, your griffin very much like, sort of like, you go to sleep and your griffin kind of like does the like cat like sort of around your body, and you kind of like, maybe you even like, maybe this is Helios, and you kind of just do one of those up in the nook of her back paw, or his back paw.
Cool.
And you all rouse, and you are a dragon and a griffin stronger than you were yesterday.
We're gonna need it.
You're going to need it. Okay, fantastic. You guys intend to begin your travel.
Yeah.
I require a survival check, Ranger.
Actually, before we go,
The 27.
Okay. Sorry, you did a 30. Sorry. Okay, I'm just kidding. Sorry, go ahead there, Terrence.
yeah, before we go, should we see? You said 30 miles. Is that something that we can reach in, say, a day?
If you hoofed it, yeah.
If we get the horses, yeah, probably.
You could do it on foot too. You could do it in one day as long as you did like a fast travel pace. If I'm not mistaken, it's 24 miles at a normal pace and 30 miles at a fast pace, and then it's like 18 at a slow pace. So, yeah, if you guys wanted to like pull a Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli chasing the orcs to Isengard, and kind of like through the forest, then yeah, you could.
And then fight the
probably
dragon
get
exhausted.
Right. They wouldn't get exhausted.
Should we have a
It would
decent
just kill
meal?
your passive perception is all.
Sorry, a decent what?
A
Meal?
decent meal.
Oh, I can go for
before-
hunt.
Yeah, before we go out.
Unless you want to make the meal and I'll touch it up a little.
I mean, I can, or you can hunt if you're a very efficient hunter. Save me a spell slot.
Yeah, sure. Largoth, want to go hunting?
Actually, I will use the spell slot, but to feed the our mounts to make sure they're well
Yeah,
fed.
the griffin will happily eat. Laragoth will kind of like sort of like sneer
Lyra can
immediately.
catch her own meal.
Yeah, I don't need your silly, uh, special grassy god food. Bleh. And will sort of like
Slink away.
fly up into the air.
It's not for everyone.
I'll go with Laragov. Like, I'll get on top and we'll fly somewhere a little more away so that we can.
It ruins it. It ruins it. And then flies off, I think. Yeah, you hop on Laragoth's back, and Laragoth will. Laragoth's being all moody for whatever reason, any number of reasons why, and it's like doing the like quick, like zippy fly with you this time. You're like, you're certainly good enough now that I'm not going to make you roll to see if you fall off or anything, but you can tell like a couple branches hit you in the head, and she's like kind of zipping around trees and shit a little quickly, and she's giving you the I'm letting you know I'm annoyed with you, but not telling you that.
All right, what's wrong? What's wrong?
Nothing.
Ah. No, all right, of course not. Nothing. Nothing. Of course.
Just focus with your stick in your string.
All right. You can tell me later when you feel like it.
And you can go ahead and make me a survival check, see if you catch some food.
That is a natural 19 plus 9 is 28.
What do you know? You do. Roll me a d6. Plus your wisdom.
7.
You take down like a pretty big elk, and it'll be worth 7 rations when it's cleaned and cooked.
Cool. All right, we'll bring it.
Yeah. As for Lyragos, at one point you're like steadying your aim and you fire and you're like you take them out and you're like yes, and suddenly gravity just starts happening under you and you're like ah, and Lyragos just like lets go of the tree and just descends at the last second. The wings come up and this deer just goes as Lyragos descends on it and just like just like savages it and devours like large chunks of it.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of like
All right.
like fucking hanging off of her dagger
Maw.
teeth. Yeah. And then yeah, you guys haul back the deer, and if anyone wants to try and cook it up, make me a
I have cooking tools.
cooking tools. I want you to make me a survival or nature check to skin it. Not a high DC at all. It's only like 5 or 5.
Okay, well I got a 13 plus 9, so 21.
Oh, yeah, you barely look at it. It's just like it's procedure at this point. You clean it easily. Yep. Skill is a master with that knife when it comes to cleaning beasts. And then go ahead and make me a. You're proficient with cooking utensils. Make me like a con or whiz plus proficiency.
Okay, so that's a 15 plus 4 plus 5, so 15 plus 9, 24.
Ciela cooks you guys up like the most delicious, like venison and divine wafer, with like
found herbs.
Yep, found like foraged fresh, wild herbs, and is high protein, low carb, low calorie, or actually decent calorie because you need it for the big fight. It's a great meal. It's a fantastic meal.
And while this is happening, I'm going to be preparing my gem-encrusted bowl, and I'm going to cast Hero's Feast.
Everyone's done eating. They're like, I'm so full, I couldn't have enough. Oh no! And they're like,
I was ready to eat for an hour.
you guys are going through the forest like, I'm so yeah, you so what does that look like, Terrence? What is your hero feast produced when you place your encrusted bowl and pour magic into it?
It's probably various bountiful fruits and vegetables and grains, and it's like it's almost like it's a bowl of unlimited breadsticks.
Olive Garden.
It's a cornucopia.
In the most Chauntea-esque Heroes Feast that has ever existed, there are literal just like bowls of grain. There is a cornucopia of delicious fresh vegetables and fruit. You already had the meat course through Ciela. Now you guys are getting the vegetable course through Terrence. And you guys are like, but Mom, I don't want to eat my vegetables. And she's like,
It's good for you.
and
Oh, Ciela will eat her vegetables.
yeah, you guys eat your vegetables. You spend an hour sort of sitting around the table going, remember that time? Ciela fucking died. And after an
In front of
hour,
Lyra telling her that I died.
Lyra's like, awesome. It's like, that's cool. Just like Terrence.
Or like
Uh,
she was like probably going like, oh, I could have just ate her and you guys would have revived her again. Sweet.
yeah. She's like, I wasn't there to eat you.
And I assume all can take bites from it and enjoy it, even the mounts, because it applies to up to 12 creatures that can partake into the feast.
Yeah, the mounts will definitely be able to eat from that.
For the sake of I guess fairness, what's the prognosis with Sabrosa?
Sabrosa will be here, we'll say. Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be
Sorry. My meal also gives a plus 1d8 hit points to everybody. Temporary.
Points, right?
Yep.
Well, hold off on that because I believe Terrence is about to give us a lot more.
Excellent.
actually mine increases your maximum hit points.
Oh, okay. All right, so everybody start to take note. Ciela, let's start with you. Roll your 10 points.
5.
Everybody gain 5 temporary hit points. Now go ahead there, Terrence, with your benefits.
Temp hit points. Alright, so once the meal's done, it lasts for 24 hours. Creatures that partake in the feast gain several benefits. The creature is cured of all diseases and poison, becomes immune to poison and being frightened, and makes all wisdom saving throws with advantage. Hit point maximum is increased by 2d10, which I will roll right now.
Is that permanent?
It lasts for 24 hours.
Damn it.
No, it is not permanent.
Mine lasts 8 hours.
Can I ask an above the table question? Can I benefit from this because I can't eat?
You can eat, you just don't need to.
Okay. Just
So
wanted to
we
make
Sure,
sure.
it's good.
Yeah,
I'm like
decided
shoving
to-
it into your mouth slot. See, good, yum. Mmm.
Okay, cool.
Here comes the airplane. And here comes the dragon.
Everybody gets their maximum hit points increased by 10,
Cool.
and and it gains
Dare
the same
you
number of
just-
hit points.
Terrence, how dare you make everyone immune to poison before my green dragon encounter? How dare you? No, it's all good. It's all good. That's smart. That's smart.
And frightened.
And
Hit us with that
man.
frightening presence now.
Fuck dragons, basically. The encounter difficulty just went up 9. Yeah, incredible. You got Terrence. You basically give the party the anti-dragon feast, and that's gonna be as long as you get there today and you deal with this today, you guys are going to be looking pretty good for what you're going to encounter.
Resistance to poison, immunity.
Immunity.
Oh, immunity.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're immune to poison and being frightened.
I just
And
learned about the
poison.
button now.
And you're immune to poison damage as well?
It doesn't say. It just says becomes immune to poison and being frightened. So I think it might be the poison condition. I don't know if it's poison damage.
I'll look it up because
Okay.
that is something that is always like it is a little wonky. They're don't always they always specify only in the most subtlest of ways. Oh, that's the 2024 Heroes Feast.
Yes, this is Legacy
You're
Heroes
cured
Feast.
yeah. You're cured of all diseases and poison. You become immune to poison and being frightened. You're immune to poison, period. Because when it's the condition, it says poisoned.
Oh.
The condition is poison with an ED on the end, but poison encompasses all poison.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Neato.
you guys are immune to poison damage. You guys are immune to the poison condition. You're immune to any other specialized poisons whatsoever.
And frightened, and you have advantage on all wisdom saving throws.
Absolutely. Shroud, you realize in this moment your heads up display goes, meet Joanna after dark, mission failed.
Bummer.
Bummer. Fantastic. After an hour, you guys are so full. It was such a balanced meal, and you're so full. You guys better watch out. All your six packs are starting to disappear.
I also want to take note of everyone that benefits. So it's the 6 of us.
Yep. Plus Lyragoth, plus Helios.
6 plus Lyragoth, Helios, my horse, Stone.
If you guys wanted to, I had expected to hear the horses were still back, but if you wanted to have those, it's fine. You guys can have those.
Okay.
We have Ciela was hunting, you guys went and got him.
2 horses. My horse and Star's horse.
Yeah.
Horse.
And Subarosa has my horse, so there's.
Hang on, we're quickly running out of feast to feast on.
Oh, that's 11.
That's 11. But these are also large creatures, which take more food, I believe.
They have their own rations, right? We would have brought rations.
I did also cast.
Oh, it says 12 creatures. It does not say how large they have to be. It just says 12 creatures. Okay, so Hero Feast is fine.
And I did also cast Create Food and Water, so they can actually have proper sustenance for the day.
Yeah. And as for, this counts as proper sustenance, if I'm not mistaken. And if it doesn't, that's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know if it doesn't specify.
Keep your first level slot. It says including magnificent food and drink. And if food and drink doesn't count as food and drink, then I don't know what counts as food and drink.
That's fair. Okay.
Keep your thing.
Yeah, we still feed them the steaks. We just feed them the apples.
And as for you, Ciela, I think your temp hit points are only going to go to the party itself because 7 rations. So no temp hit points for the mounts.
What about Lyragoth?
Well, you didn't cook Lyragoth's meal. Lyragoth just ate it raw.
She ate the she won't eat it cooked. It ruined it.
The human way.
Okay, you are fed, you are watered, and then you were fed again, and now you are fucking immune to this dragon I'm gonna throw at you, which is fine. That is what D&D's all about, prep. You know, it's all good. And you guys have some forest to trek through. And you guys turn around and go, Aragorn of the Dunedain, he says, let's hunt some orc. And you guys go, and you guys start running through the forest. And as the beautiful Lord of the Rings music begins to play, as you guys go traipsing through the wood at high speed, trying to find this dragon lair before the sun dies, we will end the session there. And next week, we shall have us a dragon hunt.